We're back. We're back. We're back. Kind of. Actually, we are back in more than full force because we got Rick along tonight. And in honor of Rick, just to start things off, I went and found a new beer to me. This one right here. Rick, is this one approved by you? Tell everybody. I think it is, right?
Yes, it is definitely approved.
State
Fair
Fair.
State.
Oh, Fair State. I'm sorry.
Fair State Brewing Cooperative.
Cooperative.
Good brewery, good people, good beer.
8.6 on the alcohol meter, so that's pretty good.
Going for the double universe. Double your pleasure, double the fun.
You aren't drinking beer tonight. What's up with that?
No, I'm not. I'm turning it up a notch as well. Going for some scotch. Something I can't really pronounce.
I know the real reason is because you didn't want all that gas in bed later. That's all.
That might be part of it. But
all the farts under the sheets that come out and torture your spouse.
Dutch oven.
That part of it. There you go. Ben,
you got to be like me. I sleep. Jessie has her own blanket. I have my own blanket. And it's because of that exact reason. Because it's not just my farts. It's sometimes her farts. I don't want any part of that. They can stay in her blanket. My farts will stay in my blanket. Everybody's fine. And sometimes maybe I get a whiff of my own by accident. It's my own fault. But we keep our own blankets separate, and that's why the farts stay contained. Now, in the morning when we get up, there's a little extra residue coming out, but that it's gradually dissipated through time overnight, so it's not nearly as bad. So
also lets you turn the furnace down a notch or two yet as well.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps you warm. There's no doubt about that.
So I think we're officially back. Bernard's here. Hey, Bernard.
Bernard's back. He doesn't hate us.
Hey, yes. Don't hate us anymore. We like beer. We like Ursan Ilyasova.
No, we don't like Ursan.
And we like, hey, the Bucks are back. Bucks are back in form.
I know they won like 8 in a row or something, or 9 and 10 in a row. Or
Giannis has been getting crazy. And who knew the key was, Chris Middleton come back. That's a big thing. Oh, and we wish our best. My man Brolo just had back surgery. By the way, that's why they signed Boogie Cousins. I didn't realize Brolo was out with a bad back. He had to have back surgery. So they need another big guy. So Boogie Cousins is now a Buck this week too. So, hey, they're going for it all again. Milwaukee Bucks, can you say it? Back-to-back championships? Oh, my God.
Boogie Cousins? Who's Boogie Cousins?
Marcus Cousins. It's a big dude. He's bounced around the league a little bit. Sorry.
Is that like number 1 overall pick? He used to be with the Kings?
He was a he was a high pick. Rick, you remember?
Is that the guy, Rick?
I think so.
Okay.
He was he was a big dude.
DeMarcus Cousins.
That's what I said, DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh, I thought you said Marcus Cousins. I was like,
no, I just say it fast. I'm not as slow.
You gotta add a duh or a la in front of everything, because that's what they do nowadays.
Well, whatever.
I'm La Ben.
Anyway.
You're duh, Jason.
Okay.
And Eric is he's Rick.
Can I be Joe Rick?
Like sure, you can be Joe Rick.
Like
yeah,
Joe
yeah.
Right. Oh wait. Oh, Jamarcus Russell. That's right. Oh my gosh. All right. Hey Rick, I screwed up last week. I had Hunter Renfroe on my fantasy team. I decided not to start him, and it was a big mistake. I lost.
Hey, look! I got it. Look what I have.
Always start a Raider.
Oh, you can't even see it.
Bernard's in there about all the Packer stuff. We're getting to you, Bernard. Go Pack, go 9-3. We'll talk about that too in a second.
Whoa. This is a Dragon Fandango toppling gold Goliath Brewing Company. I don't know. Jesse got it from someplace. It just has a dragon on the glass, so I steal it all the time because I like dragons.
Yeah.
Never ever had a beer from them, but it's a brewing company of some sort. Beer with mango, passion fruit, and dragon fruit.
Yeah, they have dragon fruit beer. You should try dragon fruit beer.
I'm gonna try it. I will try that. Toppling Goliath. Purple. Right there. I don't know if that's
doesn't taste like much.
You've had it already?
I've had dragon fruit.
Oh, Bernard says he still hates us. Don't hate us, Bernard.
Oh.
Yes.
There's no reason to hate us. Hey, we've been telling you.
I didn't see that.
I gave out great O-line insight last week. Come on. You can't hate O-line, Bernard.
Okay. I got one thing to say.
What do you got to say?
that disappoints me. I was going to say it before the show, but now you had to go live
Well,
right away. So now I got to
say
read
it.
you right here in front of everybody.
Say it. What do you got to say?
Why is it that when I do an incredible breakdown of Razul Douglas
It's the greatest breakdown of all time. It was great.
greatest breakdown of all time, and I say, Jason, we should cut that out and give it out there as an individual video so that people can see it. You don't do that.
That's
and
coming.
then you last week cut your own videos of your own stuff. You don't cut mine, but you'll cut your crappy videos, but not mine, even though mine is the greatest of all time. Because this week, all I heard all week was, oh my gosh, Razul Douglas is so good. Razul Douglas is so good. From all the Packer bloggers, all the guys that do the show, you know, that sideline scoop guy who did a video where he just took somebody else's video and showed it and then reacted to it. Didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And then Andy Herman, you know, who actually did say some nice things about Razul Douglas before, but now he's got an A+ grade, even though he gave him.
I don't know what happened. Your audio went away. Your audio went away. What happened? Come back.
I see how this works. Ben complains about you not
I didn't
pulling out
mute
his
him.
highlights, and then you mute him. So you can't
this
complain about you not giving him his due diligence.
This is the universe. It's not me. Ben, what's going on? Are you back? I think you're back.
Unbelievable. Is this
okay? You're back. Well, you know, no. I think what happened.
I just want to say one thing.
Okay.
The microphone I'm using was given to me by my brother for my birthday. Is that a coincidence? That that it dies right when I start talking the truth?
There's a built-in microchip that if you start to trash me too much, it automatically cuts you out. That's the microphone. That's why I gave you that microphone, so you couldn't do that. So
I think I don't even think this microphone's still picking up anymore. Is it? I think it's just regular now. Here's the test. Does it have super echo right now?
No.
Super duper echo? No. So the microphone just died.
Did it unplug or power down or what?
I unplugged it and I plugged it back in again.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's defaulted to your computer mic, and you can probably go back to that one if you want. You can change it if you want in your audio.
I don't know how to do it, but I'm going to change it.
Hey, Bernard, we miss you too. Here's one for you, Bernard.
When did I?
You gotta go to the microphone spot and then hit the little caret next to it, and you can check your audio settings and all that. Hey, okay, let me defend
Okay, what
myself.
did I say? Hold on.
You're trying to slam me. I want to defend myself. Can I defend myself?
Wait. When did I get cut off? I had a lot of stuff
I
was
don't know.
talking about.
I think we heard
Did I talk about Andy Herman?
Point.
Yep.
Yeah, Andy Herman.
Did I talk about sideline scoops?
Yep. And I have an explanation for you on all of that.
Okay.
No,
just one real thing is a month ago.
Yeah.
Both you and you were there, but mostly me.
Well, I've been on the Razul Douglas train.
I know, but we on our show we showed 9, I think it was like 8 or 9 videos from one game of Razul Douglas tackling, being aggressive, making plays on the ball, staying with this guy in coverage, you know, all the stuff he does every game. And I said then, what did I say? I think he is the best corner, defensive back, period, actually, on the Packers squad, including better than Jair Alexander, because he does more than what he does. His play encompasses all facets of a defensive player. I said that a month ago, and I was right. And now finally everybody's like, oh, and Andy Herman's like, if Kevin King comes back healthy, I think it's obvious. Did my mic go dead again?
No, you're good.
Okay, I think it's obvious that Kevin King, I mean, Razul Douglas needs to play over Kevin King. Really? That's obvious now first? It's first obvious, Andy Herman? And I like Andy Herman. But I mean, it's first obvious now? It was obvious a month ago. Matter of fact, he should be playing over Eric Stokes too.
Yeah, 100%.
So when Jair comes back, it better be Jair and Razul Douglas and no freaking part-time bullcrap like they did. Isn't it weird that they lost the game when Kevin King came back and they had him and Razul Douglas switching, right? They had him switching out like for some unknown reason, and they lost that game. But then Kevin King got hurt. He couldn't play this last game, and then Razul Douglas was out there on every play and making plays all over the place. Do not take him off the field.
Don't make Bernard hate us again by trashing Kevin King.
Kevin King sucks, Bernard.
Sorry.
Aaron Rodgers is great.
He's
as a player, terrible.
he's a great
man,
player.
Great player.
Great player.
But-
He's a fantastic player.
But Kevin King is a
Not
great,
great.
maybe he's a great guy, but he's a terrible football player. Terrible. Absolutely terrible player. He got $5 million for free this year. I don't know what the F the Packers were thinking when they did that.
To be
Nobody
injured,
knows.
you know how much Razul Douglas is making? He's making
He's making like 600,000 or something like that.
yeah, he's
Or
like
maybe like a-
656 against the cap. He's like 779,000
Yeah.
total is what he's
It's
gonna get.
ridiculous. You could have
Yeah.
signed 5 Razul Douglases.
Which I said, I was typing in during the game. I'm like, sign him now. Don't let him get all the way through the season. Like they should be talking to his agent right now, locking him down for like a 4 or 5 year contract.
I guarantee he will not be a Packer next year.
Don't say it, because I got him.
He won't be. They can't afford him, and they don't respect him. If they are going to split time with him and Kevin King, they obviously have zero clue what they're doing. That's the other thing I want to say. A lot of people have been giving Brian Gutekunst is such a genius all of a sudden. Really? Is he a genius all of a sudden? He's the guy who signed back Kevin King. I guarantee you, Razul Douglas is probably some scout
True.
from way deep down, and the Packers were desperate. And Gutekunst is like, I need somebody who could sort of play. And the scout's like, dude, Razul Douglas is the guy who's bouncing around the league, but I'm telling you, I scouted him. He can play. He is aggressive. He will do things. He is a player. And Goody's like, well, we got nothing else to lose. Let's sign this guy. Right? That's probably what happened. But everybody's giving Gutekunst all the freaking praise. And I doubt it. I doubt that he's the one who deserves the praise on this. I mean, unless I could be wrong. Like, I'll be honest if I'm wrong, right? But let's be honest here. A practice squad guy who's bounced around the league for 4 years.
Right.
I don't think Goody really knows what's up with that. That was a desperate move that he had to get somebody, and he probably has, someone deep down the track who found him and said, "Hey, this is the guy."
Well, and
So-
keep this in mind too, that the only reason Razul Douglas was available to grab, and even had an opportunity to sign on a practice squad, because he had nothing else. Sorry, Rick, your Raiders didn't see the value in the guy. They let him go. You can explain in a second. You can explain in a second what the hell the Raiders were thinking. Other teams just like signed him for a week and then he was gone. And then his only choice was to sign a practice squad, which was only available because of COVID, because of the pandemic and the rules. Because Douglas had too many snaps with the Eagles to be eligible for practice squad eligibility, except for those COVID exemptions for 2 players that can have more than however many snaps it is, like 700-800 snaps or whatever it is. So, that's the only reason he was there, to be plucked. But Rick, now you can say why. What was with the Raiders? I mean, are their corners just so good they couldn't use this guy, or what?
Probably not. But I mean, their corners aren't that bad. The way he's been playing the last couple of weeks, sure. If he was playing like that when he was there, I'd welcome Douglas on the team. But I think there's something to be said for finding the right fit, the right situation. Zero mentioned in the comments that you can tell Douglas is hungry. Maybe that's it. Maybe he realized like, hey, this is my last ditch, my last shot at things. So he's coming out fired up. Maybe it's just the right system. Maybe it's the right coaching. Maybe it's clicking with the personnel. You said he was playing with instinct, right? He just has the instinct and he goes. That's what Green Bay was missing. How many people on the defense would you say play like that? How many people were playing opposite of that the last couple of years? So maybe that's it. They need a guy who's going to be a ball hawk back there, just play with some fire, play with some instinct, and it worked. I would like to see them sign him back, or extend him, keep him. But hopefully it's not a Za'Darius situation where, Za'Darius came in and could argue a similar thing. He came in hungry, got a shot, got his money, and then, that's what we're seeing. I don't think it's likely.
Here's a quick difference. And Douglas, that's a great thing too. Maybe Zero read the same article I did about Douglas being hungry. I found this article. I started looking more up on the guy because I like to dive in on who these guys are and some of their past. And he was in high school. He liked basketball more than football. And where he grew up in New Jersey, he didn't really have any plans for after high school. He didn't plan on playing college football. He didn't plan on going to college. He didn't plan He didn't know what he was going to do because the area he grew up, the neighborhood he grew up with, his grandma raised him because his parents weren't around. He just was trying to survive. And a coach talked him into going to community college the very next year and playing for some community college around there, which his first year at the community college, he talked about how he had like no money, how he'd have to go to McDonald's and get $2 menu items and have one for breakfast and save one for lunch. And that's what he did for like a year. Like he just didn't have money. He was hungry all the time. They talked about how hungry he was because he never got to eat, like all this sort of stuff. It was all part of this guy's makeup and his life experience. Then he got a chance to shine and then got to West Virginia and played well at West Virginia and then became a 3rd-round pick by the Eagles. So that's kind of some of his backstory, some of the trials and tribulations stuff he had to overcome to get where he is today, which is also part of his perspective. But the dude's 6'2", 209. Is he that fast? No, but he changes direction pretty well, right? And he anticipates, he studies, he's smart, he's aggressive, he's got great hands. I know he dropped the 1 pick six that was right at him, but he's
but he didn't see it till the very last second.
Oh, now you got the major echo on.
I put it on.
The voice of Ben. But he's got, I mean, the play on the ball that he made in Arizona in the end zone, like that's insane. I mean, that's a crazy play. We have receivers who couldn't make that play. Plenty of them actually. And
yeah, plenty of them.
And he's got, I mean, the guy is just come in, started when he got a chance to start, then got shipped to the bench. I don't care. I know you just spent another 1st-round pick on a corner. I'm tired of drafting corners in the 1st round. No. Great. Maybe Eric Stokes will be okay, but he should not be starting. And Razul Douglas needs to be signed. And look at it this way. I'm going to show you some stats from Douglas. I'm going to show you some stats from Jair Alexander in a little bit. But Razul Douglas and Jair are about the same age. Can you imagine having 2 corners at their physical primes, some experience in the league, and those are our 2 corners for the next 4 or 5 years?
Expensive.
It'd be expensive, but we've been drafting corners for 20 years, Ben. I'm sick of drafting corners. When you get a good one, you freaking keep them. Didn't we learn our lesson with letting Tremont go? Like, come on. No. I want and that's why I'm saying offer him a contract now. Offer him a pretty big contract now so you don't have to pay what he's going to be worth at the end of the season.
Yeah, but will he take it?
Maybe not, but I think he might because he really likes Green Bay. He loves how the coaches embraced him. The team embraced him. He was looking for a home. He bounced around 4 or 5 times this offseason alone. This is a team that gave him a chance. I think that's going to matter, and I think it's going to help bring his price down a little bit, and the Packers need to capitalize right away. They need to get a deal done as soon as they can. They got to offer him contract and get it done because this guy is worth keeping. Worth keeping. I mean, I know you just drafted another corner in the 1st round. Great. But this dude needs to be a starting corner for you. Sorry.
What about when they bench him for Kevin King?
That's not happening.
They can't do that. Honest to God, if they do that, the Packer fans need to do a revolt. I mean, it's bad enough when they drafted the quarterback in the 1st round and ruined everything for the next 2 years now, and then Rodgers will be gone and all this big mess.
I don't know about that.
But God, I hope he's gone. Listen, if you want to have all these corners, we can't have a $40 million quarterback.
I don't want all the corners.
We certainly can't have a $25 million wide receiver and a $40 million quarterback because that's the way he's going to want to stay is if he can have his buddies all on the team.
I told you I would have been fine if we drafted an old lineman in the 1st round and not a corner in the 1st round, but that's what they did.
Well, we should have drafted Landon Dickerson in the 1st round and Quinn Miners in the 2nd round, and then we'd be solid at center and at right guard, and we'd be awesome.
And Billy Turner would still be starting right tackle.
Well, that's
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but there weren't any tackles they're all gone by the time the Packers picked. These good ones.
All right, sorry. I know
we're going over that. Hey, one of the guys has a question real quick.
I know.
Zero's asking who's the MVP of the defense, of the Packer defense. Rick, what do you think? Who's the MVP of the Packers defense?
Hands down, Devondre.
Hands down.
Hands down.
I disagree.
He just got put on the COVID list, by the way, this week or last week.
Yeah, so we'll see how much of a difference he makes.
Well, maybe he gets back.
Let me ask you this before we move on to Ben's MVP. Okay. If we had the same linebacking core that was there last year, do you think the defense would look anywhere close to what they do this year.
Are we talking about? Are you also including? You're just talking about inside backers and not the outside linebacker, defensive ends who are really defensive ends, but outside linebackers.
Yeah, because that didn't really change much. You had Merciless for like 10 snaps.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna
Gary's a monster. Z's not even been involved this year. So
that's right. I'm gonna bring up something, Rick. This is why I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Okay.
All right. Bring
Prove
it.
it.
The MVP of the defense is Razul Douglas, hands down, because he has single-handedly won 2 games for this team. Single-handedly won 2 games, just on 2 plays. Number one. Number two.
He had a
The
bunch
other
of tackles
defense-
and pass breakups.
I'm going to give a second defensive MVP to Zadarius Smith because he's not there. That is like a B, like Razul Douglas is A, Zadarius Smith is B. The reason why Devondre Campbell looks so good is because he's able to look so good. You know why? Because he doesn't have to worry about cleaning up Zadarius Smith's mess like all the other linebackers have had to do for the last 2 years. Blake Martinez said it when he left. They let him do whatever he wants, and I got to clean up the mess. Last year, Zadarius Smith did whatever he wanted. He didn't look for the frickin' running back. He didn't watch where the ball was going. He tried to beat his man to get to the quarterback. Never once did he look at the quarterback until after he beat his man. Didn't know where the ball was. Didn't know where the running back was. Got blocked by a wide receiver because he didn't give a crap. And you're telling me that's Devondre Campbell, a journeyman guy who's okay, who's pretty good. I'm not saying he's bad. I think he's really good. Okay, he is good. But he's allowed to be good because Gary and Preston on the edges are doing their jobs. They're taking on the block. They're looking where the ball is. They're watching the quarterback. They're not just trying to beat their man and being oblivious to the entire offensive play. They're actually running the defense. Everybody's doing their job. That's another thing that the Packers players have said this year. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's why the defense is working. Now, Devondre Campbell is great. But the real MVP is actually not even Razul Douglas. It's Zadarius Smith. He is the MVP of this year's defense because he is not ruining it. Because I don't care how many Packer fans are blind and stupid and how many dumb freaking reporters keep saying how great he is. How could this defense be way better? And it is way better this year. Way better. You're telling me it's just because Devondre Campbell showed up one day? Halfway through freaking the summer? He wasn't even here during the offseason workouts? That's the reason why they're so good? No. It's because one guy who never freaking cared about anybody but himself, and he proved it on multiple occasions with his words. What does it take to be the defensive MVP? That's what that's all he cared about the offseason. All he cared about is
his own captain
get this
thing when he
sack so he can make his money.
When he wasn't voted captain.
He's his own captain. And maybe that's the key. He's the captain of the defense because he's not there. Zadarius Smith is the defensive MVP of this Packer team because he's not.
All right, Ben. Hey, you're
my connection is going crazy because apparently I'm
it's
talking so much craziness that the internet can't handle me.
Zero says, holy hell, a garbage player deserves MVP because he's not on the field. That's cold, he said. But Zero also brought up an interesting point before. He said, if Jair comes back, is it going to ruin the chemistry? I don't think so. As long as they keep Douglas on the field, that's the key. They got to make the right decision there. Jair's not going to ruin the chemistry. That'll only be helpful to have another really good corner on the opposite side. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. I can't name a defensive MVP. I can't. Like, I mean, I can't believe Rick said hands down because to me, it's like, okay, Campbell's been good. Razul Douglas has been a crazy impact guy. I mean, at a spot that we were super thin and really needed somebody to be good, and he came in and solidified and held it down. And then, Kevin King gets off being injured for like a game, and then he goes back being injured, and then he comes back, whatever. And then, the rookie Stokes is in there and he makes some plays, okay, when they're in front of him. But when he has to turn his back, he's not good. And I've talked about that numerous times. And Bruce still tells me, oh, he'll be fine. He's doing okay. I still don't think when he has to turn and run with guys, he can't locate the ball when it's in the air. It's a big problem. I don't think that's ever going to get better, whatever. But that was a spot we needed. But the safeties has been so good. And especially Adrian Amos. Adrian Amos has been really good this year. And he's made impactful plays. And Gary's been really good. I can't pick it.
Maybe.
All I can say at every level of the defense, the Packers have been markedly better and had impact plays from different guys throughout the season. And so I can't say hands down anybody. I can't.
I think it's a combination of Zadarius Smith not being there and possibly maybe Joe Barry. As goofy as he seems,
give Joe Barry some credit. I don't know.
He might actually maybe know what's going on. I don't know. But like the thing I loved about this last game, for instance, like Douglas had a huge play, right? Kenny Clark had the sack at the end. Amos had that 4th down stop where he was aggressive and tackled the guy. I mean,
and he tackled him on 3rd down before that.
Right.
He stopped him short and then got in there again on 4th.
Right. And so what I'm saying is it seems like every game that's the difference between this year and previous years. Previous years it was, okay, Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, you guys go and make a big play. Everybody else just make sure we don't give up anything big, right? That seemed to be the way they played for 2 years with Pettin. And with Joe Barry, it seems like, okay, everybody, we're going to be aggressive. This is a defensive call. Your first assignment is to do this. And your second assignment is be aggressive. Whatever you do, do it. And that's the other thing. Remember, like earlier in the season, they said something about like, you want everybody to be on the same page, even if it's the wrong page or something. It was some weird quote they said. I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was something where like, even if they get the defensive call comes in and it's a play that's not going to work, you know what I mean? Like the defense is not good against whatever offensive play that was called. They want to make sure everybody is still running the play that was called. Because in the past, what they would do is they'd have miscommunications and guys would be out of position and all this other, which would leave a big gaping hole. So this year, maybe the play that's called isn't always the greatest play on defense. Like maybe it's not great for whatever offensive play. Like maybe they're playing man against a offensive play that is a man beater or whatever it is. But everybody is on the same page and they're playing together. And everybody's job is specific and they're doing it. And that's the difference. That's the difference. So maybe it is Joe Barry. I think it's Joe Barry. And it's also the fact that all these guys are buying into each other. And like everybody is a team. Remember when I showed the video of, Bruce was there. We showed the Zadarius Smith sacks. He'd make a sack and he'd get up and do a celebration. And other guys would be like, whatever. Like because they knew he was all about him. This year, when guys make plays, they're all like fired up and like jumping on each other and doing all kinds of, like the whole team is together. So like when Zero says when Jair comes back, it might make a mess. I don't think so. But if Zadarius comes back, that could be a huge problem. And the Packers need to keep him on the sidelines. Or you know what? I'll take that back because he is a great pass rusher, but he needs to take a role as a 3rd down pass rushing specialist.
Yep.
The very expensive 3rd down pass rushing specialist, but
Right.
that is the role that he needs to play. On 1st and 2nd down, it needs to be Gary and Preston. And then bring Zadarius in for pass rush, that's fine. But I don't want him in there on 1st and 2nd down or 3rd down and less than 5. It's got to be, if it's 3rd and 5 or more, sure, put him in there and he can make a play. Otherwise, no, because he does not play the way, or you know what? Stinking Smith, his coach, has got to hold him responsible for once when he does random crap, doesn't follow the frickin' play. But that's what I would say about the defense. I think it's just the philosophy change of 2 guys making plays, everybody else just make sure they don't screw it up. No, this time, everybody do your job. This is the freaking Bill Belichick thing we've heard for years. Just do your job. How many times you watch him on the sideline? Hey, guys, this system will work. We got a good plan against this team. Just do your job. Just do your job. Even if they give up a big play, it's like, do your job. And sure, the Packers gave up 2 huge touchdowns in this game against the Rams. But you know what? They stopped them a whole bunch of other times because they played together. So I'll give up 14 points when you freaking shut them down and get a pick 6. cause a bunch of punts, get a fumble by the quarterback. Hey, I'll take all that stuff in a couple of freaking big touchdown passes. If it means they're only going to give up 14 points, because Aaron Rodgers in the Packers offense is going to score more than 14 dang points. So that's one thing I'd say about it. That's what I say about the defense.
I'll go back to Rick in a second because I feel like he needs more time to talk. But look, the defense is, I mean, that's the thing. They have to manage Zadarius Smith coming back whenever that happens, so it doesn't disrupt this chemistry. Jair come back. Zero asked, can Jair play safety? No, he's too small for that, but he could. And the safeties are doing fine. They're doing well. Like Savage is playing well. As long as the Packers use them right, like Ben talked about, and play to their strengths, then the safeties are actually having a really good year. Jair only helps the corners. I don't, it just means that Stokes is going to be kind of like that fourth corner, and that's okay. He doesn't need to be, he's a rookie. He doesn't need to be impactful. He doesn't need to be playing. We got the guys to do it. But Gary's too good. Gary's too damn good to take snaps away from him to give to Zadarius. And Preston is playing really well. Like, Rick, did you have a flash when Preston recovered the fumbles, reaching that long arm of the law out there? Did you see how long that arm was when he was kind of like stretching the ball out in that fumble recovery? That's pretty sweet, right? You have flashbacks to like Sean Jones or what?
Yeah, the ghost. Yeah. There was
Preston's been good.
Doritos.
Talk about, what do you think about Preston, man? He's been really solid.
He has been playing solid. So just to back up and touch on the 17 things that Ben was countering my pick with, I will say that the defense absolutely looks like they're playing as a unit, right? Whether that's Joe Barry coming in, whether it's Z being absent, whether it's buying into this last dance, BS, whatever. Yeah, they're playing as a team. They're playing as a unit. Whatever the reason, it's working, right? And I think having Gary step up, yeah, absolutely. The kid's playing hard. What I would like to see, and maybe it won't work this way, but I think the Packers can use Zadarius coming back in a smart way. Keep him on a pitch count, situational, like Ben was saying. The guy can pass rush. Bring him in late in the game when the other guys are getting tired, whatever. Even if you want to do that stupid Zadarius tackle move, whatever, putting him on the inside, fine, bring him in.
That's where he had 10 of his 14 sacks or whatever last year. Was that?
Yeah, like 7 of them were against the Falcons in one game.
Yes, I know, but I'm just saying that's where he had all the sacks last year. It was lined up on third down in a pass rushing situation as a defensive tackle against a guard or a center, and he beat the snot out of him. And so use him that way, sure.
Absolutely. And the guy can get, like, fans love him, right? He can get the fan base fired up, bring him in late in the game, situational things, gets his sacks, he can do his little dances, whatever. But then his back hurts, you got to take it easy and save him. Keep him on limited snap count, situational key things. Maybe he has some big plays, awesome. Then part ways with him in the offseason, right? But, if they handle it in a smart manner, I could see that working to their advantage. But, overall, the defense is playing like a team. They're playing more instinctively, right? I mean, I think that was the problem the last couple of years, especially last year. The defense was just playing, like you're saying, don't lose the game, right? It was just playing so soft that, they weren't giving up a 70-yard touchdown, but they give up 7 10-yard passes and a score just as quick.
Yep.
Right? There was no resistance. So, yeah, I mean, I think, even calling out Kenny Clark, he's been playing, certainly has been playing better in recent weeks. I don't think he's quite as good as everyone's saying he is, but, the defensive line as a whole is showing up, right? They're at least standing their ground more often than not. The inside linebackers aren't always picking the wrong hole or just taking themselves out of the play. So, I think some of that credit needs to go to Joe Barry. And I guess, we'll find out what happens down the road. But for right now, getting these guys playing with some fire, playing with some heart, playing as a team, that's what they need, right? Yeah, defense wins ball games, but it's a team sport. You need the defense playing as a team. And that could be the difference. As Bernard said in the chat earlier, he thinks that Green Bay can win it all. They can win the Super Bowl. And I think if the defense shows up and is playing hard, I mean, look at some of these other teams that were supposed to be contenders, right? Seattle, Arizona, no.
Why does everybody
Oh,
want
Tampa,
to
Arizona's
anoint?
still ahead of
right?
us, though.
Everybody wants to anoint the Cowboys as being like, as soon as the Cowboys started winning games, all of a sudden the Cowboys are the favorite. I'm like, did you
Ooh,
watch
not
the
last
game
night.
last night? That was just a trash game. And the fourth quarter, I mean, when they had chances to put the Saints away, I mean, that was a terrible. That's how, unfortunately, how a lot of NFL games go. We don't often see it because usually the Packers respond and they have drives late to close out games and win close games and all that.
They didn't always do that.
No,
It's only been the last couple of years where they've actually done that, where they've gotten the ball and then run
right.
And we'll get into that too. I think
Yeah,
AJ Dillon is a huge key to a lot of different things going on. But
I want to talk running game after we finish up with the defense here, and I do have some Razul Douglas stuff, and then I want to show you Jair too, just for comparison, just so you understand. But the point really is, like, the Cowboys are not good, but they won 8 games, so they're technically good. I don't know. I mean, do you trust Mike McCarthy to make the right decision in a playoff game? Probably not. But whatever, it's fine. The thing with the Packers are, and just in general, when you look at it all, they're 9-3. They've had a plethora of injuries. The offensive line is crazy beat up. Now, in some cases, it actually helped them, but in some cases, it didn't. Clearly, with Jenkins and Bakhtiari still missing, those are 2 huge guys that would make a big difference on this line and allow the Packers to hopefully make it a really strong offensive line. Instead, it's still an iffy offensive line. And I get it. Nobody wants to talk offensive line. I'm not going to do an examination about it, but the offensive line is a huge key to the success of the football team. And, they need to be solid in order for them to win the Super Bowl. The other side of that is the defense, which we've been talking about. Defense is much better. Now, I know they gave up quite a few points in this game, but some of those are garbage points, some of this other stuff, whatever, a couple of big plays, but they're making plays. The last however many years, and especially the Dom Capers years, and even the Mike Pett years, we, like you guys reference, we watch teams go on just 10, 12, 14 play drives, just keep giving up first downs, could never get out the field on third down, and then keep giving up points. This team has not been good in the red zone, but they're good at actually getting 3 and outs, which is a change for the Packers defense. They're good at actually stopping people sometimes on third down. They're getting turnovers, which we haven't had in quite a few years. So,
well, you know what? The other thing that's really weird.
We'll take it.
When I looked at, because I just looked at Game Pass today again and looked at all the drives, and I was surprised at how few yards the Packers had in offense for the majority of the game because they scored so many points. I was like, well, they must have.
And they held the ball forever. They
held the ball for a lot,
possession.
but they would get like 10 plays for 23 yards on this one drive. And stuff like that. I was like, really? 10 plays, 23 yards? There's a couple penalties in there and whatever. It was just kind of weird, right? And the offense was kind of out of sync for a majority of this game. They needed that turnover by Gary and Preston, the sack fumble and Preston picking it up. They needed that. And I know they only got a field goal out of it, I think, but they needed it badly. And if it wasn't for Randall Cobb muffing the punt, I think the Packers would have probably would have had more points, and they probably would have been able to, really put, like, it would have been like a blowout instead of being close as it was. But that the defense is scoring points, and they're giving the offense a much better chance to score because of, so many punts they're forcing the other opposing team to do when the other team's going for it on fourth down, and they're actually getting stops because they're playing more aggressive and playing more, tight coverage and stuff. And I don't know what Amos did on that fourth down play. I don't know if it was a run blitz, if it was just, hey, I just know what's going on, I'm going for it. If it was a called play or what it was.
No, he just went for it. He didn't. He beat the block and he went for it.
Well, whatever it is, that's awesome. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you want to see. Because even if, let's say that was a pass play instead of a run play. If that was a pass play, Amos would have been in there for a sack, or he would have had a pressure on the quarterback, and the quarterback would have had to get the ball out of his hands super fast. I want to see more pressure up the middle on 4th and 1s. Or you know what I'm saying? Instead of sitting back and, trying to cover every little route run that could possibly be run. No, 4th and 1, attack the middle. And then, if you want to have, like, I showed previously of 4th downs where they had like one safety who's like 25 yards deep or whatever. That's fine. You can do that to save yourself from giving up a touchdown as long as you play aggressive with all the other 10 guys. like man up, beat up the receivers, make sure they don't get a clean release, and attack the middle of the field to stop running play. Yes, awesome. And that's the kind of stuff they've been doing more. And that's it's just led into both things where like the Packers offense wasn't perfect in this game, but it was still really good. And the other thing, when I get to the offense, I'll talk about that later. But that's just something where I think the difference between this defense and other defenses is just the fact that they're playing aggressive and they're playing together, and it's causing the opponent now because think about this. I think teams might actually think twice about going for it on fourth down now. I think they might, if it's 4th and 2, because last year and the year before, if it was 4th and 2, they went for it all the time, and they got it all the time. They didn't care. They knew it. And now this year, people are trying to go for it on fourth downs, and the Packers have actually stopped them at least 4 or 5 times this year on fourth downs.
McVay at the 29-yard line in the first quarter or whatever, he goes for it. You're like, what?
Well,
okay.
I thought when he did it, I was like, yeah, all right. Well, they're going to give this up. I thought for sure they'd give it up, and they made a play. Amos made a play. So it's like that's the difference. And I think that by showing this on tape, hey guys, Packers are playing differently this year on defense. They are more aggressive. They're not giving up easy crap like they used to. They might give up a big, huge play. Who gives a crap? 2 big, huge plays don't matter if you're making 25, 30 awesome plays the rest of the game. I'll take that. Because in the past, it was 2 awesome plays and 25, 30 crap plays. So I think it's a better swing, right? Back to you.
Absolutely.
Whoever.
I'm always on the side of being more aggressive, and if you get beat, you get beat. But sitting back and just letting them kind of work their way down the field, I hate that. I hate that style of defense. A couple of comments about Randall Cobb muffing the punt. And yeah, I mean, look, I was calling for it. I've been calling for it for weeks because Amari Rodgers has not looked good at anything at all. He doesn't look comfortable catching a punt. He doesn't look good running with the ball in open space. He doesn't look fast. He doesn't look like he has agility. He just doesn't look very impressive at all. Hopefully that gets better. So I was like, at least give me Randall Cobb. And I was calling for it. And then they finally put Cobb in there, and then he muffs one. I was like, dang it. That kind of sucked. And then Cobb had a great first half, then he gets hurt. Hopefully he's back because they need him. He's an important piece. He's an important guy to the offense. Rodgers will throw any ball to him, and that's a key part too, because Rodgers won't throw any ball to just anybody. But if it's Randall Cobb, he'll throw any ball. And he made some crazy-ass throws in this game that were pretty awesome.
Are we going offense now or what?
No, I want to
stop. Okay, well, you start going there, and then I got something to say about that. So you can't be doing this. Let's do it. Let's show the stats already. You've been talking about this Razul Douglas, Jair Alexander stats. Let's go so we can get on to the offense because I got some things to say about offense. Rick wants to talk at least once or twice in here. I haven't been on for 3 weeks. I got to start talking here.
I'm trying to incorporate the comments as well so people don't think we're just ignoring them. No, I didn't even finish with my...
Listen, guys, in the comments, we have some structure tonight. It's called defense first, offense second. That's the only structure we have. We have no plan. We just do whatever. We'd like to comment on you, but we might comment on them later.
We got Zero destroying everybody. Well, he destroyed me in fantasy football. He's doing pretty good. Anyway, we'll do a touch on that.
Terrible in fantasy football. I'm really bad too. I think I scored 50 points one time.
Really bad.
Even Eric's better than me. Mom beat me, for God's sake.
Mom's gonna knock you out is on a win streak, I think. Anyway, hey, the thing I didn't get to finalize was on my defense, as you were trashing me right to open the show, which was like 50 minutes ago, almost 45. Was that the reason I didn't make a cut of your Razul Douglas, saying that Razul Douglas is awesome a month before everybody else realized it, is because I needed everyone else to realize it. So then when I put it out now, while everybody's looking at Razul Douglas stuff and it's hot on the internet, more people will see your cut of Razul Douglas, and then they can see it's dated, that the show was actually dated a month previous to show that Hafeman Bros were on top of stuff way before everybody else is. All right, here's something to show you. I'm going to share some screen, and let's take a look at Razul Douglas because he's awesome. And there's a couple things I got to talk to you about because Bruce is going to, I was saying stuff, and Bruce is like, oh, no, don't sign him after he misses one play because that's what Bruce does. He's kind of a knee-jerk guy. That's fine, Bruce. You can be a knee-jerk guy. Let's take a look at Razul Douglas here. All right, this is Razul Douglas stats, okay? We're just going to look at some stats here, some numbers. All right, now he was drafted in 17, third-round pick. I told you some of his backstory out of Philly. Now, his first year, he only had 5 starts, but he had 11 passes defended. in 11 passes, 11 PDs in his
And
first
2
year,
picks.
5 starts, and a couple of picks. That's right. Then he had another good year. He only had 4 PDs, but he had 7
3 picks.
starts, he had 3 picks. Then in Philly, then he had 10 PDs in his third year in Philly, and then he went to Carolina, had a little bit of a rougher year. He had 9 PDs, but he had, no interceptions, a little bit rougher year. We'll talk about some stats. But so in the totality of his, and you know what he's doing with the Packers right now, he's like killing it with the Packers. It's like insane, better than any. He started 4 games. He has 8 passes defended. He has a pick 6. He has another interception to close the game in 4 starts. Okay, in 4 starts. For a corner, for crying out loud. 7 games. For his career, just look at this. So 67 games, only 33 starts. Okay. 42 passes defended in 33 starts.
That's some Tremont Williams stats right there.
That's pretty darn good. And then there's even a better statistic that I'll show you later on when we talk about what Jair's done, because everybody loves Jair and he's awesome and he is really good. But he
also has 11 tackles for loss.
Yes, 11 tackles for loss.
That's a big. That's also
And
shows how aggressive he is.
117 tackles in those games, which is a lot for a corner. Okay, let's take a look at a couple other quick things with Razul as we look at advanced defensive statistics, which don't include his first year. So that first year we had 11 passes defended isn't even included in here. But you can look at a couple of interesting things, which is completion percentage against his coverage. Okay, first year almost 70%. Second year is at 56.9%, 63%. This year with the Packers, in 7 games, 4 starts, 51.2% completion percentage against Razul Douglas.
Wow. Kevin
That's
King's is like 92%.
It's really good. Okay, a quarterback rating of only 60.7%. Now, a couple of rough years here, especially his year in Carolina was rough. His first year, I think, was better than this, but 108.5. The year in Carolina, so last year was the year that kind of set him on the path that he had this offseason where he bounced around and people were like, maybe he's not as good anymore. Maybe he's just not going to be that good. Well, he's pretty darn good with the Packers. Also, this MTKL is missed tackles. Missed tackle percentage. Look at his missed tackle percentage. Only under 5%, 5%. Okay, at Carolina, it was 11%. This year with the Packers, 2.6% missed tackle percentage. That's better than every linebacker. That's better.
That's better than everybody.
That's better than everybody. 2.6%. Okay, just saying. All right, now that's just some stuff with Douglas. I want to come back to a couple things as we comp and look at Jair, because Jair is really great, right? Jair is touted as one of the best corners in the league, maybe the best corner in the league. Okay, and that's all fair. Jair's been great, and I'm not saying he's not. I just want you, if you don't realize how good Razul Douglas is yet, I want you to understand how good he is, because you can compare him to Jair. They're about the same age. They played about the same number of years, and I want you to see some of these statistics. All right. And I'm going to catch Bruce on one of his arguments here as well as we get into it. Oh, we got a poise ad here. That's not what we're looking for on Pro Football Reference, but this is the best stats for this breakdown. So here we go. All right, Jair. Now, Jair is got...
Well, you could get a coupon if you want.
Well, that's true. Okay. And some Gerber life insurance. All right, so Jair in his career, okay, he's got 48 games. So Douglas had 67. He had 48 total games. But he has 46 starts. Douglas only has 33 starts. Jair has 5 picks. He has 44 passes defended, which is really great. Okay, he had 11 in his first season, same amount as Douglas had in his first season in 17, actually. And Douglas did that in 5 starts. Jair did it in 11 starts, just heads up. 17 passes defended, 19, 13 here in 2020, and then he had 3 before he got injured this year. He also has 188 tackles through those 46 starts. Very good. Jair's great. We all know this. Okay. 7 tackles for a loss. Razul had 11.
The greatest tackle for a loss in the history of all time.
It is great. Now let's look at the advanced ones. Okay. This is where we looked at completion percentage. We looked at missed tackle percentage. Completion percentage for quarterbacks against Jair, 65%. Look at this, 53.6, 51.3, 54.5.
That's really good.
Great. But do you know that none of these are as good as Razul Douglas is right now with the Packers? Just a heads up. Anyway, just for comparison's sake,
Real close.
just so you understand, Just to understand how good Razul Douglas has been. And QB rating in here, 100, 85, really great in 2020 for Jair, 67.4 rating against him. And then this year was up a little bit, but then he got hurt. Okay, his missed tackle percentage is not nearly as good. 11%, 12%, 9%, 7%. All right. But it also shows you Douglas, better tackler. And Douglas made some key step-up tackles in this game as well to stop first downs.
In every game.
In every game. All right. Now, a couple other really interesting things. Really interesting thing, because Bruce is going to say, well, Douglas has 67 games. Jair only has 48 games. You can't compare. Yes, I can, Bruce. And you know why? Because we're going to look at another interesting little stat here. When you look at Pro Football Reference, you can also see the player's number of total snaps. Number of total snaps for Jair in his career, 2,906 total snaps. So in 2,906, and that's really how you should look at it. Because when you have guys that don't start every game, you have guys that has more games played but not games started, how many snaps did they get? How many chances were they on the field to make a play? Because that's what Razul Douglas is.
I already forgot.
Razul Douglas is a playmaker. That's what I'm telling you. Jair, 2,906. 2,906 snaps, okay?
Hey, quit talking and show me Razul Douglas.
So those are his stats in 2,906. Razul Douglas has a total of 2,762 snaps in his career. That includes his first year. So in 2,706 career snaps, he has 42 passes defended. He has 7 interceptions. He has 11 tackles for a loss. In almost 200, about 150 fewer snaps than Jair. And Jair's gold standard. He's the man. I get it.
Show me Kevin King's crappy stats. That's what I want to see.
We're not looking at that. No.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Jair in 2009.
Because that's the real.
And 6 total snaps has 5 picks, fewer picks, about 2 more passes defended, 2 more, 2 less picks, 2 more PDs, fewer tackles, and fewer tackles for a loss.
Yeah, but people are going to say, like Bruce, because he would say this, no one's throwing at Jair.
Okay.
So he's on the field a lot, he's on a lot of plays.
There's one other one.
But how many times are people throwing at him?
We have a stat for it.
Well, let's see it then.
That's
the more important thing. How many times did they get thrown at?
Targets, 91 targets, 110, 80, and 22 for Jair in 4 years. So Jair in that 4-year period has been targeted 304 times. 304 times Jair has been targeted.
303.
I did the math with a calculator. You telling me it's 303? You're telling me my calculator?
Yeah, there's a 1, a 2, and 2 zeros. There's no way that can be 4. It's 3.
Thank you, Ben.
All right. Well, whatever. I was never good at math. Just shut up. All right. Razul Douglas. Now, the only problem with this breakdown is it doesn't include his first year where he had 11 passes defended, so he was targeted at least 11 times. But we don't know quite how many times he was targeted in his first season. But in this 4-season stretch, he was targeted 287 times. So
he's probably targeted more times.
Targets are pretty comparable. Yet he has outperformed Jair. Or if you want to even just look at this window, and you can take his first season away, and you can say, okay, we're not going to credit you with the 2 picks and the 11 PDs.
Well, those are really
he's still at 31 PDs, and he's still at the same number of picks as Jair. And he has.
I would just say he averaged 70 some targets
against
75 targets against him his first 2 years or his second and third year.
But he only started 5. He only started 5 games in his first year, so you can't. Say
that's fine. No, but I'm just saying, we'll say 70 more.
Which
would then take him to about 250 or 350 total targets against him, average, which is still roughly about 40 to 50 more than Jair had targets against him. So he has more opportunity to make a play on the ball.
Okay? In fewer snaps.
Yes.
I'm with Ben, where I think most people would agree we want Razul and Jair on the field at the same time. So how did both of them compare to Kevin Kenny King?
You can't. Yeah, that's the stats I want to see. I
want me to look at. Fine, you guys talk about look at Kevin King is trash. We already know that.
Well, I know, but I want stats to prove it. listen, you know it. I know it. Rick knows it. We want people to watch the show who don't believe us, Bernard, to know it. I love Bernard, and I hope that he just says stuff like that just to get us fired up. But come on, Kevin
He
King
likes going
stinks.
nuts on stuff.
And maybe the stats will prove Kevin King doesn't stink. And if
No,
he does,
that's-
I will gladly say that stats are overrated because he stinks. The eye test tells you the guy stinks.
All right, Kenny King, here he is. Kenny King in 47 games, 42 starts. He's got 30 passes defended, far
That's good.
fewer.
That's pretty good. 15.
He does
one
have
year.
7 picks, but remember that was
And
5 in that
picks.
1 year.
Man, he had one really good year.
When he had a whole bunch of them thrown right to him. That was the year he could have had 10. He dropped 5. He has 188 tackles, same as Jair. But let's look at his other stuff here. Let's look at a little
I
more.
want to see quarterback rating or whatever.
Yeah,
quarterback
his number of
percentage
snaps are down.
toward him.
Okay. Oh my gosh, look at his completion percentage
It's
against
really
him.
good.
Wow, Kenny King is the best. Bernard's been right the whole
He's-
time.
That's not terrible.
No, it's not. The rating is pretty good though, and
But missed tackles are bad.
missed tackles are really bad. 15%, almost 8. Over 17, 4.8 this year, but that's
That's just
a
luck.
little bit misleading there.
He only played 6 games. Who cares?
So he's
It's
not. He's not good.
terrible.
He's
He's-
not
he-
terrible, but he's not the guy they
The stats prove
expect him to be.
that he is not terrible, but he's not as good as Razul Douglas or Jair Alexander. Now I'll give you some Chandon Sullivan because I love Chandon Sullivan. And I want to see if he stinks.
Well, I don't know if he doesn't have nearly as many snaps or plays, but
I don't care. I like Chandon Sullivan. He's one of my favorite guys.
All right. I'll look him up. You guys talk.
Listen, we are a show of honest to God. Bernard, come on.
Kenny King better than you would think, but
King is the GOAT. Come on, dude.
Remember when GOAT
Come on,
was a
Bernard.
bad thing?
It's kind of is still a bad thing.
is it? All right.
I used to have a Magic the Gathering deck I made called Totes My Goats. I got it from Paul Rudd. He says Totes My Goats and something.
I can't even
Some
find
movie.
Pro Football Reference on Chandon Sullivan. They don't track him. He's too small time.
It's CHANDAN. See, Balaz is right. He's not that bad. It's just sometimes he breaks your soul. And that's true.
He does hurt. It makes you hurt inside.
See, and that's the difference, though. A very important thing here, Balaz. The difference between Kevin King, Jair, and Razul Douglas is this. Kevin King is not bad. But whenever a big play happens toward Kevin King, it's never good for the Packers. Never good. But with Jair and Razul Douglas, whenever a big play happens against them, it's a 50-50 chance that it might be really good. That's the difference. Kevin King does not make good plays. He doesn't sometimes make bad plays, but when he does make a bad play, it's really bad. Where Jair and Razul Douglas, when they make bad plays, it's not that bad. But when they make a good play, it's freaking awesome.
Here's your guy Chandon here. He had
bad is he?
well, his completion percentage against him was outstanding in 19.
Woo! Yeah, he was
And
bad.
he's been pretty good. Not
He
as
was
many
bad.
targets.
He was
of
bad in
course.
Philadelphia, though. Holy God.
31, 56, 43. So not as many targets, not as many chances, but his missed tackle
30.
percentage
Whoosh.
bad this year.
Bad this year.
That wasn't very few attempts. Bad this year, great in 19,
He played awesome in 19.
good in 20.
Well, that's why he became one of my favorites. It was 19. He had just a
Valuable
great
dude.
year. He was
Yeah, he's a
awesome.
valuable dude. Anyway, the main point is, I want you to see how close those guys are. And that's with a rough year in Carolina for Razul Douglas. And the Packers need to wake up to it and be like, look, we've been drafting however many corners over the last 2 decades. Most of them don't work out. Here's a guy who fell into our lap or whatever. Somebody was smart enough to pick him off after the Raiders cast him aside in other teams. Let's lock this guy down. And let's have really good corners for like 5 years. Come on. Can we just have good corners for 5 years and not draft a single corner? Let's not draft a single corner until after like round 5 for the next 5 years. Think of all the other things we could do in the draft if we didn't have to draft corners all the time. We don't
Well,
let a guy like that go when he's on your team. That's all.
all I know is this: when a guy just makes plays, you sign him. I mean, Tremont Williams was an undrafted guy, and he made plays, and the Packers were like, "We got to keep him." And then they had a guy named Casey Hayward who made plays, and they were like, "Nah, we're going to let you go, and we're going to draft a couple guys who stink." And that's what they did, because they drafted what's-his-face and what's-his-face, two guys that aren't even in the league. Well, at least one of them, Quentin Rollins, is certainly not in the league. Maybe for some reason, Demarius Randall keeps making teams for some reason. I don't know. And then he's like not playing, or he's cut, or is he on the Raiders again? Was he on the Raiders, Rick?
He was. I don't think he's there anymore.
Oh, okay. But
I think he
anyways,
got cut in the preseason.
the Packers chose to let Tremont that season. The Packers chose to let Casey Hayward and Tremont go and draft those two guys 1 and 2. And boy, was that a mistake. When they had the guys, if you have the guys, sign them. And right now we have a guy, Douglas. Sign him. Get it over with.
Let's go to the offense. And I know you want to talk about the run game. Ben, let me make the first apologies. And then we turn over to Rick for a second. And then Ben.
Demarius Randall is on the Seahawks, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Well, how good are they? They're like 3 and 8 or something.
Not
so
good. I have to apologize to AJ Dillon for a month ago saying AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones equals first downs. AJ Dillon does not equal first downs.
Yep,
I was wrong again. I was wrong. AJ Dillon draft pick was not a bad draft pick. We thought it was at the time because of.
I didn't.
Well, I thought it was at the time because I'm like, you got Aaron Jones. Why are you doing this? You got other more urgent needs. But as we know with the Packers, they don't like their draft picks to be very impactful. They don't like to put them on the field right away. So
they could have.
Leave it to the brain and the mind of Goody, who says, I'm looking 2 years down the road when I make these picks. And so Goody saw AJ Dillon becoming the man as soon as Jamal Williams left and Aaron Jones got hurt. And now he's the man. And he was great. Fantastic. Rick,
think if he would have been in there instead of Jamal Williams last year.
Rick, what do you think of Dillon so far this year?
I didn't love the pick at the time, but this is one of these that if people are going to say Goody's a genius for having seen these injuries. Cool. I think it was good that they had him. Was it the best thing they could have done with their second round pick? Yeah, we can debate that some more. But
I know you were a huge fan of Eddie Lacy. I mean, I know you've been on that jersey out there in Minnesota, but how do you think Dillon compares to Eddie Lacy?
He's a little less round.
He's got like curves in the opposite spots as Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy had scrawny legs, a fat gut. Ray J. Dillon's got big legs, big shoulders, and a tiny waist. He actually looks like a monster. He looks so scary out there.
Yeah.
Like,
I think so far he's been an asset to the team. It's good that they have him, especially with Jones getting hurt and Hill being hurt. I mean, could they have got someone off the scrap heap? Maybe Adrian Peterson could have been wearing green and gold this year in a pinch.
He just signed with the Seahawks on Thursday or yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always some scrubby old running back that you can pick up, but having a guy who actually knows the offense and is young and pretty fast and relatively fast.
Is Frank Gore still available?
Probably.
I
think this is one of these. I think certainly more than Naguara. I think you can argue that this was a valuable pick just with the role that he's going to have. I think even when Jones comes back, it's going to be probably more evenly split, just at least for a couple of games.
I don't know, man.
Playoff stretch, if they got, he's big and beefy. At least on paper, should be able to pound the ball with him. I know it doesn't always work out that way when they're actually on the field, but it's nice to have a little bit bigger guy. The DeGuara pick, I know it's not what we're talking about, but just in comparison, I think if they didn't have DeGuara, they'd probably have hung on to Sternberger, or you'd find somebody else. I think that would have been an easier one to find someone on the scrap heap. But with the injuries they've had, he's getting his time to play too. He's looking decent. So maybe Goody's a genius. I'm not ready to go that far yet.
I think it was Bernard earlier that noted how he really missed Tunyon. If it was somebody else, I apologize. But yeah, that Tunyon, it was Bernard. But yeah, the
We don't miss
Tunyon
Tunyon.
injury, the Tunyon injury is huge. But
It's not huge.
But DeGuara is needed. Then you need him.
It's not huge, and I'll tell you why. They never
It
used
is
Tunyon
huge.
the whole freaking year. Who gives a crap? They didn't use him right.
All right, talk about Dylan then. Get off of that. Okay,
No, it doesn't matter.
I want to know you. I want to know you, Ben, one of the biggest Aaron Jones fans in the history of Aaron Jones fans. How are you feeling that in this last game, AJ Dillon got twice as many carries as Aaron Jones? Are you concerned about it? Are you okay with it? How do you feel about it?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Aaron Jones is coming off an injury, number one. Number two, the offensive line wasn't actually giving anybody any holes. And A.J. Dillon just crammed his butt in there and got the first downs. He didn't run. His average yards per carry weren't that great.
No.
But he got first downs when we needed them. He got a touchdown when we needed it. Now, that was that cool, the little, whatever, that jerk route out of the backfield. But it was a good route. Great play. And I'll take it every day. The reason why that draft pick looks so stupid is because it came right after they took Jordan Love. So everybody's like, why are we taking a quarterback when we already got a top quarterback? Why are we taking a running back when we already got a top running back? Why are we taking a tight end when we already got 3 tight ends? We just drafted one last year. And so everybody freaked out about it. But the problem is, because they're like, why can't we get guys that we actually need, like offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, and an inside linebacker? Because that's what everybody wanted. So the picks look stupid at that point. Except for me, I like the AJ Dillon pick. The DeGuara pick, I was like, I don't know. And Jordan Love was like stupid as all stupid could be. But the AJ Dillon pick I liked because I like Jamal Williams as a guy, never liked him as a player. He's just a guy. He's just a regular, he'd be like me out there. Yeah, if there's a big hole, he gets you some yards. He runs straight. Okay, he can pick up the blitz. Awesome. But he's not a dynamic type player. AJ Dillon has the ability to break tackles, make moves. He's got really good hands.
Yeah, really good.
Run through. Yeah, he can run through tackles. He's gotten much better at picking up the blitz. That was the one issue. I remember when we did the show talking about AJ Dillon after he was drafted. I watched a couple of games and I saw him there's one time where his quarterback got sacked, fumbled because he totally whiffed on the picking up the blitz at one time in college. And I was like, ooh, that scares me a little bit. But he's gotten much better at that.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, it's not, I don't know if it's really Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones. I do love Aaron Jones. He's right there. But it's also, you know me, I like running backs. And especially one that I like, that's good. And I could tell when a guy's good. Like when it was Edgar Bennett and Dorsey Levens, and Dorsey Levens was the backup. And I kept telling everybody I knew, Dorsey Levens should be playing. Dorsey Levens should be out there. He makes plays. He is awesome. And all our buddy Horn and all these guys back in college were like, Edgar Bennett. Okay, yeah, that's great. You want 3 yards per carry? Okay, that's great. Let's go with Edgar Bennett. But he knows what he's doing. He's the mudder. Oh yeah, he's the mudder. Okay. If we ever play it in the mud, let's drag him out there. Otherwise, let's get frickin' Dorsey Levens out there. Can we please? Because Dorsey Levens is great. Right. Man. Anyways. And then when they took, and Amon Green, I wasn't a big Amon Green guy. I don't know why. I think he just rubbed me the wrong way. He was a good player. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of times it was just like screen pass. Like Favre just threw him the ball 25,000. If Aaron Jones had the ball thrown to him as many times as Amon Green did, Aaron Jones would have 1,000 yards receiving too. But the Packers don't. Aaron Rodgers doesn't play that way. Aaron Rodgers wants to pass the ball 25 yards in the air. He doesn't want to pass a little dump off. And he proved it in this last game again. I'm sorry, Bernard, but there's a play where he goes and he does some dumb crap. He could have just dumped it off to Aaron Jones. Probably would have got a touchdown on the play. But instead, he tried throwing it to Lazard in the back of the end zone because he's 6'5" against a guy who was 5'9", and Lazard got held by a 5'9" guy. They didn't call it, but he couldn't run through the 5'9" guy to get to the ball. Where he could have just dumped it off to Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones would have made one guy miss, boom, touchdown. You can watch the film. It's there. Rodgers does it again. He wants to throw the big touchdown pass in the end zone instead of dumping it off and running, which is why I was surprised that he threw the one to A.J. Dillon. But I want to talk about that in the game. We'll get to that later. But we're talking about running backs right now. And when I saw Eddie Lacy, I said, this guy stinks. I knew it then. As soon as I saw him, I was like, this guy is not good. I don't like this view. Just please. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get myself centered and it wasn't.
That was just really dumb. Anyways. So I just like running backs a lot that are good. They don't have to even be great. But these two guys are perfect together. That's the thing. So as much as I love Aaron Jones and I want him to be on the field on every play, I also know he's a tiny little guy and he can get hurt. But he doesn't have to get the ball every play. He can be a great decoy. And then you can use those two guys on the field at the same time, like Balaz says here in the comments. That's all I want. Get them both out there at the same time and screw up the defense. What's the defense going to do? Uh-oh, we got super speedy Aaron Jones. Look out. Or we got a big freaking guy's going to kick us in the butt. Which one are we going to get? I don't know. And then you guess what? We faked it. We threw it to Gore for a touchdown. We fooled you. How about some of that?
We got some tight end trolling here in the comments. We'll get to that in a second. Before we do, though, I know Rick loves that now they're allowing offensive linemen to push the pile and push the running backs again. Because remember, for a while you could do that. Then it was illegal. And then a couple of years ago, they were like, you can do it again. So actually, there were runs that A.J. Dillon had in this game that I kind of give an assist to Lucas Patrick and John Runyon on one. They got him he got 4 yards. Lucas Patrick and John Runyon got him 3 more yards because they just ran in there and pushed him around. And another one, it was Lucas Patrick and some other guy. I can't remember. I don't think it was
probably
Newman.
Royce Newman. You won't say his name. That's why.
I don't think it was him and I think it was Patrick and it might have been Patrick and Runyon both times. But anyway, they got him more yards, and that's kind of fun. Rick, how fun would that be as a lineman? Like your running back stood up, the whistle hasn't blown, you just plow in there and shove everything forward, right? That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you got a small running back, just pick up the whole pile and carry him forward.
All right,
especially
here's
if you're fast. Just think of Bakhtiari picking him up and running down because he's fast.
Running,
Right.
getting those full strides going. Bakhtiari.
Hold on, I got to say one thing real quick. Zero says something in the comments. He says that New England is the best at running backs because they just use guys before they're good and wanted a massive contract, and then they have them move on. That's true. But there's one thing that's very different between New England and Matt LaFleur offense is when New England calls a play, they call a play specifically for a certain player. They have a running back who's a receiving back. They have a running back who's a short lineman or short down distance back. They have a third down back. They have a guy who picks up the blitz back. Everybody has a job, and they call plays specifically for their job. Where Matt LaFleur just calls a play, and he doesn't even know who's even in the game. So yes, it would be great if you could have a bunch of random guys at running back if you knew who was in the game and you called plays for them because you knew what they were good at. But Matt LaFleur doesn't do that. He lets Ben Simmons just decide who's in the game, and then he just calls a play willy-nilly. Doesn't matter who's in there. It does matter. That's my biggest freaking problem, Matt LaFleur. Back to you.
Yeah. Interesting comments about the tight ends. So we have to go to Rick on this one. So people are talking about best Packer. Zero brings up best Packer tight end of the last 20 years. I think, can we go back 36 years? Because I know who Rick would take then. Rick, if we went best Packer tight end in the last 36 years, who would you go with?
Toolbox.
What? I thought for sure you'd go with Fatty Keith Jackson, your favorite.
Fatty Keith Jackson sucked. He didn't do anything but catch the ball. He never blocked anybody in his life.
Come on, Fatty Keith Jackson. He was a dynamic pickup.
With the 36, we went back too far. If you like, was it 20? When was he there?
Well, it was in the Super Bowl, right? Didn't he get a Super Bowl with the Packers? So it was like 90, mid 90s.
Yeah.
He got
Go
hurt
back too
late in
far.
the Super Bowl.
It's 25, 26. All right.
There's Jason and his calculator math again.
I blame the double universe backwards.
All right.
I gotta say Paul
that's a
Kaufman
fair
if you're going
point.
back 36 years.
All right, 26 years. All right, don't go back.
Fair point.
Then you go Mark
But
Shimura.
just one.
I got people saying
Ooh.
like I got people
Keith
that
Jackson. What?
No, nobody said Keith Jackson. That was me.
They said Jimmy
I
Graham,
got
who
Jimmy
sucked as a
Graham.
Packer. So
Somebody loved
No.
Jared Cook. Come on.
sorry,
Jared
Balaz.
Cook.
Jared
No.
Cook
Jared
sucked.
Cook dropped the ball a lot.
Well,
he made
Jared
that one
Cook-
crazy
He had
catch.
one great play where he jogged across the field and nobody decided to cover him for some unknown reason. And luckily, Lukey Patrick was there to be the one-man protection for Aaron
That
Rodgers.
was Lane Taylor.
That's
Lane
it.
Taylor.
Lane Taylor. Yeah, he was even better. I love Lukey Patrick, but Lane Taylor's even better than Lukey Patrick.
Yep.
Lane Taylor's like, why don't we pick him up? He's out there. He'd be way better than Royce Newman. Oh my God, I forgot to look.
I'd
Lane
take,
Taylor got cut by the
oh,
Texans.
I'd take present day Mark Tauscher over Billy Turner too, but that's neither here nor there. Rick, you were saying.
I was gonna say I like the way we're talking about running backs. It still somehow gets turned into a Lucas Patrick offensive line conversation. So,
I
But
don't know how many times I got to show people what the guy does. Like, I mean, he cleans up the mess. He covers Royce Newman's ass all the time. Like, come on. How do you? And that was the one thing. Rick and I were exchanging texts today, and I'm like looking at these guys who grade because he graded really badly again by PFF, graded Patrick really badly again. Not as bad as Royce Newman, by the way, but they did have him like in the bottom 5 offensive line or offensive guys. And I was like, how many of the plays where Royce Newman actually screws up and then he's trying to like block Royce Newman's guy, but gets there late because he wasn't expecting to have to do that? That's technically a quarterback pressure. Does that go against him because he was the last guy to block him? Does that bring his grade down? Because that's like ass covering, play saving plays that he's making a bunch. And Bruce, you better wake up to that too, because I'm sick of your crap, but the old line.
Dude, you got to lay off Bruce. He's not that bad of a guy. You keep giving him crap.
He keeps talking trash about the old line, and I'm sick of it because they're not all the same. There's one guy that's really terrible, probably 2, and they're on the right side, right guard, and actually Runyon's been really struggling the last few games too, but he's doing okay. Patrick does not have to cover for him nearly as much as he has to cover for Royce. Anyway, hopefully the Packers figure that out. All right, what are we talking about? Tight ends. Rick, you said Ed West. Ben, who's your favorite? Who's your best Packer tight end over the last 26 years or 20 years? 26.
36.
36.
Mark Shimura.
Mark Shimura. The dirt ball.
Yeah.
Arrogant. I don't like either of your picks. I think
Mark Shimura.
Jermichael.
Jermichael was the most talented, but he was a dick. I'm gonna go with Robert Tonyan. That's it.
Dude.
Robert Tonyan's the best.
This year's
dog.
proven that
Number one
Tonyan is
pick.
overrated.
Big dog.
Yeah,
number
big
one
dog.
pick. Big dog. Best tight end and Packers ever had since Max McGee or whoever it was back in the 60s.
Max McGee was a freaking wide receiver, you ding dong.
Well, he ran as fast as a tight end. So
Because he was like 37 years old.
and he was drunk and
Hungover.
hungover. Probably both. Yeah, J Mike was a diva. Bubba Franks. Ooh, Zero likes Bubba Franks. Bringing it in there. He was a high pick. I don't know if he was ever that skilled, the tight end, but he was, I guess, solid run blocking, okay, pass catching. Ben likes Shimura just because he got in the hot tub with 17-year-olds and he loves Winger and 17.
Winger
And
had a song called 17.
No, he
That's right.
played 17 while he was in the hot tub with those young girls, man. That's probably why
Hey,
he
man.
liked him.
The greatest guitar solo in the history of all time, Red Beach, baby.
Oh, I will debate you on that.
What?
I still think greatest guitar solo was in Cult of Personality, but that's fine.
No, it's a sloppy mess. Go back and listen to it again.
Dude,
Hey,
I don't
give
care
me some
what
sharing
sloppy
abilities.
mess.
Give me some sharing abilities. What is your problem here?
I didn't know you were going to have any plays. I thought you were still sleeping before the show started.
I spent a good long time trying to get the stupid Game Pass to work, but it's stupid.
All right. Rick wants the show to go at least 2 hours. Let's go.
Okay, it's gonna go 3 tonight because I don't have to work.
All
right,
Rick,
you seeing
can
this?
leave whenever you need to. It's fine.
Are you watching this play?
We got it.
I don't know how to make it slower. It's really fuzzy because Game Pass is stupid.
What'd you do? Oh,
All right.
there we go.
The ball's already gone. Here
I
we
like
got pressure right here. Not good.
Oh, John Runyon. He's having a rough go.
This is the thing I want to talk about. You said something about Aaron Rodgers in this game. The first quarter or so, Rodgers kept trying to like throw these deep passes and stuff. And the pressure was getting in his face too much and it was dumb. And then gradually the Packers as a team changed their strategy and started doing quick passes and get things out. And Rodgers, I'll say this about Rodgers in this game. He threw multiple times in tight windows, like where there's very like small margin for error, mostly to Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams. And they both made great catch. Like Devontae Adams had great catches in this game. Randall Cobb was awesome in this game. And Rodgers threw to those guys specifically in really tight windows and tight spots because he trusts those two guys. I don't think he would do the same thing if it was MVS or whoever. But and this, like, the ball's gone already. Like, Rodgers made a really fast, like, this is, Rodgers like, that's it. I'm just going to Cobb on this play. I don't even care what happens. I don't care what the coverage is. I know he's going to be open. I know I don't have enough time to do anything. It turns into a touchdown. And it based on right now, both these guys are looking at this pass. But this pass is out, Randall Cobb catches his ball and squeezes through these two guys. No problem. But the best part is at the very end. I want you to watch the celebration in the end zone. Right here. Lukey Patrick.
That was when he got in trouble because Cobb was hurt. He didn't know it. He was beating him up. And Matt LaFleur was like, "Why are you beating him up? He got hurt. Jesus, lay off the little guy."
Anyways,
no, I mean Rodgers played great in his game. He
he
played great
played
for the last
first quarter.
He
He
started
had a
off a
couple
little
of
rough,
dumb.
but
He
then
started
he did.
doing.
He was great after that.
I have one more play to show.
Rich
can find it.
McGeorge, who the hell? I don't know Rich McGeorge Balaz as a tight end in the Packers. Maybe that's going way back. Is that like the 40s or something? The teens, 20s,
I don't know.
20s, 30s Packers? I don't remember. I'm trying to think. There aren't that many memorable tight ends for the Packers over the years, as you really look at the list.
Rich Eugene McGeorge, born September 14th, 1948 in Roanoke, Virginia. Played tight end for 9 seasons for the Green Bay Packers.
There you go. He must have looked it
From
up too.
1970 to 1978.
See, don't mess with Balaz, man. He's a historian of the pack. He knows what's up.
Dad says
Historian.
best tight end was Ron Kramer. Dad brings back the old school
Oh,
knowledge.
Ron
Knowing it.
Kramer.
No,
That's if
LP
you like
didn't.
blocking.
That's not true. LP, that's a rumor. LP did not hurt Randall Cobb. He was already hurt on the touchdown catch. Just a side note.
Okay, here's the other play I wanted to show. This is probably my favorite play of the game, which sounds weird. But for 2 reasons. One is Rodgers' pass on this is insane. As
I got
much as
one quick question.
What?
And just an observation. How beat up the Packers offensive line is, how in the hell did Aaron Donald not make more of an impact on this game?
Well, I'm going to show you on this play.
Okay.
This play takes Lukey Patrick helping out just enough, and then realizing that if he helps up a little bit longer, it's going to be called a holding, so he lets him go. Rodgers throwing off his back foot, perfect. Like, I don't even know how he threw this ball off his back foot like that. I'll say this. Aaron Rodgers as a man, don't like him. Aaron Rodgers as a player, unbelievable. I mean, he just makes some awesome plays. But sometimes I wish he would just make the easy play instead of always trying to want to be the superhero all the time. And that's the difference. If he would just take the easy play every time, it doesn't matter.
Right.
This
Then
play
it couldn't be stopped. He's been doing it more the last couple weeks.
He has been. I mean, the touchdown to Randall Cobb I just showed you, that was the easy pass. Like, don't mess around. The touchdown to A.J. Dillon, super easy. That's how you do it. Get it out fast, get it to the open guy, let him make a play. Let him break a couple tackles, get in the end zone. You don't have to throw the ball into the end zone. All the guys are there protecting against that. There's also a play I was trying to get to work, but it didn't work. It was the 4th and 1 where he found Gore after he looked at Devontae for like 5 seconds. And there was 3 guys covering Devontae. Like, and when you watch the all 22, there's literally 3 guys shading Devontae on that 4th and 1 because they know Rodgers is going there. And everybody else was just one-on-one coverage. And it was like a zone. And Gore just sat and found the zone, and then Rodgers smartly got off Devontae finally because he realized, oh, there's 3 guys there. I cannot throw this there. And then through the Gore, got a first down. But he's got to get off Devontae quicker. If he sees there's 3 guys there, please move quicker. He still looked way too long. Like, there could have been some problems there. But on this play, here we go. Watch this. Okay, I got to get rid of this here. This is driving me nuts. This pocket looks okay, but look right here. This is Aaron Donald. See where I'm circling? We got Royce Newman. Now, Lukey, it looks like Lukey's barely helping him. It's because Lukey was worried about this guy at first, but then this guy kind of does like a stunt to the outside where he's covering the running back. So Lukey wasn't sure if he had to cover this guy or what. So it wasn't until late that he had to help Royce with Aaron Donald, but he does help him a little bit. So this pocket is sort of there. The other thing is really good right here. And right here, even Billy Turner, even though his legs are just in terrible position, by the way. But look at Yash is doing great. Runyon Bunyan's doing great. And as much as this is bad position, Billy Turner does well here. This is the play where MVS is going to do like a 25-yard out route over here. This is that super deep, awesome pass. But you want to watch this. Okay, see right there? Lukey could have held on to him there because Donald is so good. He splits this double team. But there's enough. Look at the space. There's enough space here for Rodgers to get the ball out. But look at this. Look at when Rodgers has to make this decision. Right now, he's got to decide, okay, based on this coverage, and he's looking at this coverage right here, I'm going to throw the ball here. He decides that pretty much now, even though MVS has still not even made that move yet. But because the safety is way over here, and he knows MVS's route is going to take him to here, he knows he can make that play. This is a genius, amazing play by Rodgers. Look at that. He's already cocked the ball and gone. He's already thrown it. And he knows the pocket. Aaron Donald's right here. This is Aaron Donald's head. But look, Yash is doing good. Billy Turner is doing great. He's stealing the edge for the one time in his whole life. He's blocking for more than a second. Thank God. And watch Rodgers throw here. He's on his back foot right now. This foot doesn't even touch the ground. He throws this ball off of his back foot because he knows Donald's coming. And it's insane. See that? He fell backwards as he threw that ball. And this ball is going to go perfect right here where there's nobody. And MVS, look at MVS is already looking back for the ball. He knows it's coming. This is just a perfect pass, perfect route, just enough save by Lukey to help out Royce. Great blocking by the two tackles. And Runyon Bunyan did pretty good. And look at this. MVS had to adjust a little bit because it's such a good pass. Perfect. Perfect play.
That's crazy.
And that's the kind of stuff, like when you watch it back, because you don't get to see all that, you just saw, oh, what an awesome pass. Rodgers had to make that decision before MVS even broke on his route, all based on what the coverage was doing, knowing that he's got Aaron Donald screaming at him with nobody because he split the double team. But if Lukey wouldn't have helped him out there, Rodgers probably would have gotten killed. That pass was amazing off of Rodgers' back foot falling away. That was like a 35-yard, beautiful, perfect pass off his back foot falling backwards.
I have
Nobody
one
can do that.
I have
Nobody
one
can
quick
do that.
question. How come when Favre used to throw off his back foot, it didn't end up the same?
Because Rodgers is way better.
Rick,
I mean,
did you
that's all it is.
do you have an answer to that? Why didn't Favre, when Favre threw off his back foot, why didn't it equal good plays?
If Favre threw off his front foot, sometimes it wasn't a good play. It'd
What
be
do you mean
thrown
he could
really
step
hard.
into it, really rifle it?
Yeah, it might be 120 miles an hour, but if it sticks in the cornerback's face mask, it's still an interception. So,
Wait a minute. Balaz just said he's not a historian. He just Googled some random old Packers tight end.
Random
Come on,
old
Balaz.
Packers tight end, and he came up with that guy. Well, it still wasn't old enough to come up with Dad's random old Packers tight end who he had, Ron Kramer.
So, hey,
I'd like to point out those were both more than 36 years ago. Just,
hey, Zero
Saying.
F's is talking about Aaron Donald when he was choking Lukey Patrick.
Was he
Wasn't
choking him?
Patrick? He was choking somebody. I thought it was Lukey Patrick on one play.
I know he got mad at Lucas. Lucas gave him a little shove, kind of as they were going into a pile, and then Lucas went over to help his guy get up, and then Donald came and gave him some crap, and he's like, "Dude, just relax." And he patted him on the butt. It's like, dude, that's how I play. I hit guys till the whistle. That's sorry if you're not used to that, Aaron Donald, but that's what I do. I hit guys.
It was Lukey Patrick. Aaron Donald was choking Lukey Patrick. He's right. I saw
That's
it on the camera.
Lucas gets in your head, man. Gets in your head. He's in my head.
I mean,
he's
he's no Edric, what's his name? Dietrich Smith. What was that guy's name?
Yeah.
Smith. The guy who used to untie Ndamukong Suh's shoes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Well, that was his coach who told him that, James Campen. That was the other thing. I think James Campen, way better offensive line coach than Steno and Luke Butkus. I mean, come on. All I know is this. The Packers had great offensive linemen for years and years and years and years and years off of guys in the 3rd round, 4th round, undrafted, all this stuff. Now, the last couple of years, Royce Newman, Billy Turner, Steno, Lukey, or Butkus, whatever. Are they really that great at coaches? Bakhtiari's great. Why? Because he had freaking James Campen for his first couple years. Just saying. James Campen. That was a big loss.
Just wait till Steno leaves. The Bears will make him their head coach. Take Kevin King with him, and then all will be right in the universe for another 4 or 5 years.
Yash is doing pretty good. He missed some plays, but he's battling. He's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty
But
good.
I mean, listen, even Billy Turner, like he sucks
He's
a
doing
lot
better.
of the time. But like I said, the Packers changed the strategy. Like that play was kind of lucky. Not lucky, but I mean, like it took a lot of like a perfect pass by Rodgers, great route by MVS. The fact that the Rams are playing deep safety and he was on the other side of, he was at the other side of the field because he was worried about Devontae because they did not have, because that was the thing. They had MVS and Randall Cobb on that side of the field. So they took the shot with MVS going deep because they knew Devontae was on the other side. And because they split, that's the other thing that was cool about that play. They had 2 wide receivers on both sides. A lot of times they'll take Devontae, put him all by himself, and then have 3 guys over here. And then they kind of all bunch together, and it takes a while for that route to develop. Plus, Devontae takes forever to get open, so Rodgers got to sit on the ball. If they would just do more of this 2-by-2 stuff, it forces the safeties, especially if there's a single safety, to choose a side, and then Rodgers can go after that side. But the Packers a lot of times don't do that because they want to have Devontae one-on-one, and then the other 3 guys over here. And that's great. Devontae is really good at catching the ball. And he's good at getting open. It just takes him 25 years to get open. So not the greatest thing of all time.
Personally,
But,
I love it when teams do like the Rams did and send 2 to 3 guys on them a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Because that opens stuff up for Randall Cobb and other people that, and even Gore can get involved. And St. Brown's made some catches. I'm still not, I don't trust him apparently the way Aaron Rodgers does, but
well, I trust him more than Lazard right now. Lazard is
I don't know what's
hit my
going on
crap.
with
I used to 2 years
MVS
ago,
is
Lazard
doing
was one of
good.
my favorite guys. And I got to be honest, like I would rather see, because even Lazard's blocking.
Yeah.
He's not doing great at run blocking. Everybody says how great he is. He's the goon. He's not. He's a goonie.
Oh,
Yeah,
Goonies.
he's like a little kid. He doesn't block anybody. He just gets his butt kicked. He's not doing great out there. He looks like Robert Tonyan run blocking. It's terrible. That's another reason. Robert Tonyan is kind of like you guys are saying, Robert Tonyan really hurt us. Well, if they don't pass it to him, he can't run block, and they're not passing it to him. So was he really used properly? No. But the fact by losing him wasn't that great big a deal. Where DeGuara has got savvy and intelligence, and he's a little bit better than Robert Tonyan. He's a little bit smarter. He gets into open spots. He knows what's going on. And he's not the greatest run blocker either, by the way, but he might be better for this particular team at this particular moment.
And that's what it is. Some people are saying this has got to be the year. And then Zero brings up that NFL gods are making sure that it's Brady versus Belichick in the Super Bowl this year because the Patriots have stormed up and been looking like the best team in the AFC, and they might be because the AFC is a mess. But sorry, Rick, Raiders should take advantage of that. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know. Packers could spoil all that. Look, there's a different feel about the defense this year, and that's a key. And then you put that together with the running attack that they have established. And if you got Dillon and Jones going, and Rodgers continues to make the right play and understand that he's done. Look, the guy's done everything statistically that you could ever ask a person to do. What does he need? He needs to win more Super Bowls, or at least another Super Bowl. How do you do it? You just got to do whatever you got to do it. And right now with this team, it's freaking hand the ball off in Lambeau Field in January, dude. Not when you're in, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, or 2nd and goal inside the 10, pass the ball, run the ball. So as long as he keeps making that, or make the flat pass, make the easy flat pass, make the easy H-back pass, I don't care. So ultimately it's going to hinge on Aaron Rodgers continuing to do what needs to be done versus thinking he needs to do it. And that'll ultimately determine whether the Packers get over the hump. That's my prediction. But
Whoa, are we predicting things? This is like the end of the show
I
here.
predict stuff because everybody's talking about Brady versus Belichick and the Super Bowl and all this stuff.
Oh.
And it could happen. It could happen.
Wait a minute. I totally spaced out. Eric for president. That was a great plan. What
Eric
did I
for
miss?
president.
What was he
Lacy.
saying?
He doesn't
totally
live in this
tuned you
country.
out.
That's why he's throwing crazy stuff out there.
When the Bears steal Steno away to make him their head coach.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm worried they might take You know what's really weird? Okay. I think it was Chris Sims or somebody said that Joe Barry might be stolen away as a head coach because the Packers defense is so good this year. I'm like, let's not get crazy, Chris Sims. Joe Barry couldn't even be the defensive coordinator after like 3 guys, after the defense coordinator of the Rams left to be a head coach. They promoted another guy. So let's just calm down on the Joe Barry for a head coach thing.
Hey, we forgot to celebrate. Oh my God, I think it happened when we were not doing shows. Man, did you see that Will Redmond was officially released?
Yeah.
Yeah, Will Redmond officially released. That's like celebration in Packerland. That means he cannot possibly make his way back on the field. The coaches can't put him on the field again because he's not on the team.
Will Redmond is the exact opposite of Razul Douglas. Because he's always in the right place, yet never makes the play. But Razul Douglas is sometimes in the wrong place, but he always makes the play.
Look at the difference. Henry Black is doing way better, right?
Yeah.
Henry Black is doing okay. But in past years, we couldn't put guys like Henry Black on the field because we always had to put Will Redmond on the field, or the coaches would, and no one understood why.
You know, that's another reason why I think this defense is better. Because the Redmond's not out there doing absolutely nothing, taking up space of no space. Where opposing quarterbacks would target him. They'd be like, "Where's Redmond? There he is. All right, sweet. We're throwing it there because I know he's not going to make a play on the ball. He's afraid to make a play on the ball, and he can't tackle." So yeah, that's another reason why the Packers. Maybe he's the Packer defensive MVP. Maybe it's not Za'Darius. Yeah, co-MVP, Za'Darius and Will Redmond.
Co-MVP.
Isn't that weird how sometimes a team can be better by just not playing guys somehow?
2 negatives make a positive, right?
Yeah,
multiply
I guess that's what it is.
There you go. It's interesting when you brought up the coaches real quick. Now that people talk about coaches is, when was the last time you were really worried about a great Packers coach being plucked off the staff by somebody else?
Well, I'm still not worried about that.
I know what I mean. When was the last time that happened? Was it Holmgren years? I mean, is anybody since
we lost Andy Reid and we lost John Gruden just like that. Boom, boom. Well, John Gruden, we lost Andy Reid and then John Gruden went with Andy Reid. So I guess we lost both those guys.
But I mean, the McColl-McCarthy era, there were guys they thought, Ben McAdoo, yeah, he was really good. And then, there's just nobody. There's just nobody. And then LaFleur, I don't know. Any of these coaches seem like they're going to be dynamite coaches that should be head coaches somewhere?
No. No.
I know Rick likes Jerry Gray and all, but that's his Viking bias.
Yeah, well,
All right, Rick.
Wait a minute.
What?
Zero is comparing Favre to Taylor Heineke.
Ooh, Heineke. Rick, do you like Heineke? What do you think about him?
I think he's got some spunk to him. In the playoff game last year, he was playing his little butt off, trying to keep him in it. They should have won that game.
Yeah, they should have.
He got screwed by the refs.
Is he the most talented guy? No. But, he plays hard. Seems like a playmaker. Yeah, I think he should get a shot. I'd rather have him over a lot of the guys in the league.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. He's nothing like Favre. I don't know.
He's more
like in terms of the I think that playoff game last year by kind of the example of he just rallies and has rallies the team. You got a shot to come back, can't cut him out. Like maybe that sort of angle. I can see that comparison maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess the reason why is because Jason knows, because when he came to visit a couple weeks back, and I found this old Packer
Taylor
Seahawks
Heineke.
game.
Heineke.
No, not Taylor Heineke. I said Jason knows this because you.
I don't know. I thought maybe you guys.
We watched this old Packer Seahawks game that I thought they won. I don't know why I thought they were going to win it. You can look it up on YouTube. It's awesome. It's 1998. It's the first time.
No, 99.
99. First time Holmgren came back.
Ray Rhodes' only season as a coach because he let Favre play the whole year with a broken thumb, and he paid for it.
And you watch this game, and Favre had, what did he have? 2 picks, 3
He had that great fumble early on where he went to throw it, and the ball just fell out of his hand.
It was a classic Barf Favre, classic Barf Favre game. But the reason why I wanted to watch it was because I wanted Jason to watch because Dorsey Levens was like insane. Like he was like amazing in that game. But the Packers still got their butts kicked because Favre threw 2 picks, had 3 fumbles. He played like Barf. Like that's the name of Barf Favre. Look it up. It's like forgotten. What was it called, Jason? Forgotten blowouts or forgotten
blowouts. Yeah,
something like that.
1999 Seahawks.
Look up Packers Seahawks 1999, and it'll show up.
Mike Holmgren's first game back at Lambeau Field
Yeah.
after leaving, and
Matt Hasselbeck was still a Packer that year, so he was number 11.
Brett Favre was classic in that game.
Oh my God! Just watch
Classic
that,
season.
and then compare him to Taylor Heineke. No, Taylor Heineke is way better than Barf. Barf Favre will forever be, and I know people are like, "What? You're a Packer fan and you hate Barf Favre?" Yes, because the Packers would have won probably 5 or 6 Super Bowls if they would have had Matt Hasselbeck playing quarterback instead of Barf Favre. They would have won probably 4 Super Bowls if they would have had Mark Brunell playing quarterback instead of Barf Favre. They
Brunell.
probably would have won 3 Super Bowls if they would have had Aaron Brooks playing quarterback instead of Barf Favre.
Oh,
They probably would have won at least 1 more Super Bowl if they had Jason's guy, Ty Detmer, playing quarterback instead of Barf Favre. When the Packers won the Super Bowl with Barf Favre, they had the number 1 rated defense and the number 1 rated special teams in the NFL.
300 return yards in the Super Bowl by Desmond Howard or some craziness or whatever the hell it was.
So if a guy can listen, Aaron Rodgers has never had the number 1 rated defense, much less also the number 1 rated special teams. He's had the number 32 rated special teams.
Special
He
teams
probably
is
had
rough.
the number 30 rated defense almost his entire career. So you're telling me that a guy who had all that talent on defense and special teams, I mean, come on, you had back then you could do the wedge. When you had Lamont Hollenquist, you had Bernardo, you had JT, Jeff Thomason, and you had the secret weapon himself, Keith McKenzie. That was your wedge. That was your wedge on the kickoff returns. Nowadays, it's illegal to do the wedge. But back then, you could do it. Desmond Howard didn't get touched until he got to the 35-yard line because of those 4 guys.
Wait a
That
minute.
was the greatest special teams unit of all time.
Did the Raiders immediately sign Desmond Howard that next year to
Yes,
a big
they did.
contract?
Yeah, that was part of their. We need the Super Bowl MVP every year, even if it's someone really crappy, because he has 2 interceptions playing for the Cowboys. So we're gonna give him a lot of money, and then he's gonna suck. But
Raiders. I mean, Desmond Howard made some decent reads, but he didn't have to do a lot. The blocking was fantastic for him and a lot of those returns. But hey, they got him a bunch of money from the Raiders, so nice work.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean,
What about the
Keith
other guy?
McKenzie-
Who's the guy that they signed from the Brown or whatever?
Larry
Larry
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
2 picks in the Super Bowl.
And then he
Yeah,
left
so he
and
was
coached
gonna be
like he was a college basketball coach after that, or I don't remember, but
he
was it
pretty
the
bad.
same guy? Was it the same guy?
I don't know what he did after, but he wasn't very good with the Raiders.
It's not the same basketball coach that was
No, not the old white guy Larry Brown.
maybe that's who they accidentally
Oh, my
signed. And they didn't realize it. Maybe that's why he was so bad on the Raiders.
That was
'Cause
pretty
they
bad
signed-
even for you, Jason.
They signed the wrong
That was
Larry
like the
Brown.
worst stupid joke ever. Okay, here's my question. What are we going to do about punt return, guys?
Dude, it's bad. Just catch the ball. Mike Pryor, come back. How old is he? He can still fair catch
Yeah,
it.
Mike Pryor. Just have fair catch it.
Can we
Honest to God.
just possess the ball? Can we just possess the ball? Please, just put your hand up, wave it around.
I
and
mean,
just
Mike
catch it.
Holmgren knew it back then. Before they signed Desmond Howard, they were like, listen, all these guys suck. Mike Pryor, you're 37 years old. You're white. Go out there and just fair catch the damn thing. Honest to God, he's never going to return it. He was just there to fair catch every punt. Because he knew I got a really good offense. I got a number 1 rated defense. And I got a number 1 rated punt kick return. Back then they didn't have number 1 punt return, but they had number 1 rated defense. They had a really good defense. They had the long arm of the law, Reggie White, Gilbert, Santana, Bernardo.
I'm trying to think.
Bernardo wasn't even playing back then because they had what's his face? They signed up the Eagles.
Rick, if you needed a guy with sure hands, Seth Joyner. Seth Joyner.
Seth Joyner, yeah.
Rick, if you need a guy with sure hands right now, that you just say, go back and fair catch it every time. We don't care if you get any yards. We just want to possess the ball. When the other team kicks it to us, we just want to possess it. Who would you put back there on this current Packers team that you would trust?
Since you're asking, I'm going to say Razul Douglas tonight, but
He might have the best hands.
Looky Patrick. Put him out there. Looky Patrick.
No,
fair
look,
catch.
his one kickoff return he fumbled. He had a nice run,
Oh,
and then he got hit and he fumbled
He
it.
doesn't have to fumble. He just catches it. Fair catch.
Yeah, but
Really,
he would want to hit somebody. He couldn't do it. He couldn't
Oh,
like
okay.
just
All
fair
right,
catch
all
it and then not hit somebody. He
I think
probably
you
like
should
fair
trade
catch
for
it.
Quinn.
and then
Trade
hit
for
somebody.
Quinn Miners. Put him back there as punt returner.
He would want to hit somebody.
you think he'd catch with his body every time?
No, because it bounced off his gut.
We just need somebody that's going to catch it.
He'd
Who
have to
could it
catch
be?
with his hands.
Because let's look. The special teams, right? I mean, the special teams can cost you a playoff game. That can be the difference in a playoff game, right? It's happened many, many times. Right now, we finally have a good punter, Bojo, who's like consistent. Okay, good. We don't want to lose that. Great. He's another guy. I said weeks ago, 2 big contract extensions right away should be Bojo signing for 10 years. Razul Douglas, 4-year, 5-year contract. That should be happening right now. Mason, we don't know what's going on with Mason. Did you see the first field goal? They
was
showed the
perfect.
behind. No. They showed the behind,
Oh yeah,
and it went like. I was like 4 times.
I know.
You're gonna make it. You're gonna miss it. You're gonna make it. You're gonna miss it. No, you're gonna make it. How the hell does that happen?
Nobody
does
else
it
kicks
do?
like that.
No.
Nobody else kicks like that.
How does that? How does that happen?
He's the knuckleballer of the NFL.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like everyone else kicks it and it goes like if they shank it, it just goes that way. Or if they hit it straight, it just goes down the middle. His goal, like you think he's gonna make it or miss it 3 or 4 times before it gets to the goalpost. It's a mystery and excitement every single time. I don't understand it. But the field goal unit was better. But possessing the ball when you stop the other team on defense, we need somebody who's gonna just catch it. Amari Rodgers looks so uncomfortable. Who can we put back there to just freaking catch the ball and possess it?
Zero says Bojo, which is what I was going to say too. Maybe he could.
I think that's not bad. Have you
Jordan,
seen? He's caught
do it
some
all.
pretty terrible snaps back there.
Maybe
He might
Aaron
actually
Rodgers
be
has to
good
do
at it.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers has to do it. Talks about his big
No.
hands all the
We
time.
can't afford to have Aaron Rodgers back there.
No one can hit him. He calls for fair catch every time.
Actually, that might work because the officials will not let anybody touch him.
Can't
They'll
touch him.
they'll call a penalty if he gets touched.
Aaron Rodgers, new punt returner, fair catch it every time. What do you think? What do you think the media, the league would say if all of a sudden the Packers announced Aaron Rodgers was their new punt returner?
I think they'd be like, Packers are geniuses. Where'd they get that idea?
What do you think about that?
I think it would end up backfiring on the Packers somehow because if they'd run into the Ravens in the Super Bowl and then Lamar, they copy it, let Lamar return it, he would just score every time.
Yeah, probably.
Who the
That's
hell?
true. It would open up a big problem because all the other teams with really good, like fast quarterbacks would realize, oh yeah, they won't let them get touched at all. All they have to do is catch it and run for 1,000,000 yards.
Do you trust,
Nah, they wouldn't do that.
do you trust DeGora? Should DeGora
No.
be the guy?
TJ,
DJ Slayton?
yeah. I'm not saying he'd be good at it, but I'd like to see it.
Dean Lowry should be the guy. He's proven he's got good hands.
He's got a couple interceptions on screen passes and other stuff.
Dean Lowry should be our new fair catch punt returner every time. Give me Dean Lowry. No one's gonna those little gunner guys. They're not gonna try to like run into him anyway. No one's gonna cheap shot him. You know what I'm saying? He's too
You know what
big.
I would do if I was the Packers? I would take every single player on the team and line them up as punt return guy and see. No, seriously, and have them just take punt returns or take fair catches off of punts and see who does the best job. I don't care what position they are.
Maybe maybe Kevin King could
Kevin
do that.
King, a $5 million fair catch punt guy. That might be useful.
He wouldn't have to chase anybody. He could just look at the ball and try to catch it.
I think I trust Adrian Amos back there more than him.
Agent Amos is good. We know it cannot be Darnell Savage or Stokes because they can't find the ball in the air. So can't be those two guys.
I'm gonna make for Mike
Adrian
Pryor
Amos.
Mike Pryor 2.0. I'm gonna
Adrian
say my
Amos.
number 1 choice is Adrian Amos.
I agree with that.
Number 2, Dean Lowry. Number
I don't
3,
agree with that.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'd rather have Tyler Lancaster than Dean Lowry.
I still think Gore might be able to do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
He's
But
as long as he
then
wears his sticky gloves.
But if he gets hurt doing that, then we got Big Dog all the time.
Hey, best he's like a tackle out there.
If anything, I've proven he's not. On multiple occasions, I've shown he's not a tackle out there. He's not even close to a tackle. Well, if Billy Turner is a tackle, I guess, yes, he is like a tackle out there. But otherwise, a good tackle, no.
Zero says, "You got one job, King." I don't trust it. I don't trust his hands or his concentration. It's gotta. But normally you'd say it's a receiver, right? But I don't trust any of these receivers. I mean, if Cobb can't be trusted to do it,
listen. Here's the thing.
Trust.
I think first of all, Cobb is now a father. He's 32 or whatever he is. Like he doesn't have this. It's not that, and he hasn't done it for years.
Yeah.
And part of that is still like, yes, you're catching a ball, but you're also still fair catching the ball with guys that are running super speed straight at your face, ready to smack you if for some reason you screw up. So that is part of it. So you got to have somebody who's fearless and smart and has nothing to lose. You know what I mean? So
Travis Jervey.
yeah, like Travis Jervey, who's just crazy. Just let it go. Eckes.
like Micah Hyde back in the day.
Micah Hyde back in
when
the
he
day.
was a utility D-back, not even a starter. He was great at it. But
well, maybe maybe that's who we need, a utility guy,
I think
D-back.
Adrian Amos,
Yeah, but he's not utility.
I'll make a petition for Adrian Amos to be our new fair catch punt return guy. You only don't fair catch it if there's nobody within like 20 yards of you. Otherwise, just fair catch it, possess the ball. We just need the ball. We can't give up those anymore. Like, we can't miss field goal. 9 missed field goals for Crosby. Like, come on. I know the protection's better. I know the operation.
That one he missed was a perfect snap, a perfect catch,
know.
a perfect
He just-
hold. He just freaking doinked it.
And it was the same thing. It was the like, I don't know how that happens, but I don't know. This is probably Crosby's last year. Another reason the Packers got to get it done, but he's got to they got to figure it out. We can't be missing field goals, and we can't be muffin punts. Bojo, I like him. Glad we have more consistency, like flipping the field. That's all good. Kick coverage. Crosby hit the end zone a few times this last game, so that was good. But
No zero.
what does Zero say? We trade for Ty Montgomery. Oh no. He's iffy too. Anyway, they got to figure that part out because Amari Rodgers just does not look comfortable at all, and they can't put him on the field in offense. And he's a 3rd-round pick, so he's just a classic Packer Goody
Third-round pick.
that doesn't do anything in the first year that they have him. Maybe he'll be better next year. Put his ass on the bench. Don't put him on the field.
Could have had Dwayne
Could've had anybody.
Eskridge. Could have had
Anybody.
actually maybe Dwayne Eskridge went already.
Could
Could have had that super speedy guy from the Browns.
traded up for an
was-
offensive lineman. Maybe Quinn Miners the 3rd round. But anyway, neither
Could have
here
had
nor
Jalen
there.
Darden, who I know had a ball bounce off his face and got intercepted. But that's Tom Brady's fault. I don't care. I hate Tom Brady.
Me too. All right. You got anything else tonight before we turn it over to Rick?
Next week we'll have the revised Ben's top 10 quarterbacks, and we'll see how close I was from the beginning of the year to how it is now. And to be quite honest, it's not that different, other than Russell Wilson sucks. That's right, Balaz. Russell Wilson sucks. Couldn't even score a damn point against the Packers.
What about Derek Carr? He's in there, right?
Derek Carr is doing great.
Rick, how you feeling
All the
about your
turmoil with the Raiders, Rick. I mean, Derek Carr is like this
Yeah.
MVP, man.
He's definitely stepped up, shown he's a team leader. And you mentioned Hunter Renfrow before. That's the kind of guy that the Packers need to have. If they had a Hunter Renfrow who would get ignored because everyone else is looking at MVS and Devontae, Hunter Renfrow would have like 7 touchdowns and 150 yards every game. So
We got that guy. It's Randall Cobb.
it's not Hunter Renfrow.
Well, it's close. He's not as balding as Hunter Renfrow, but
I just, for one of the more unathletic looking guys in the league. Does a pretty good job when he's got the pads on. So
You know who else is pretty good? Who everybody talks smack about, and I said was good? A certain guy named Mac Jones.
Ooh,
I can remember Mo on draft night when
yeah.
I said, "Man, Vikings could get Mac Jones. The Vikings could get Mac Jones." And Mo's like, "God no, God no, God no." He looks pretty dang good to me. His passes are very accurate. He does not flinch in the face of guys reaching out and smacking him. That's the difference. He's Kirk Cousins, except he's not afraid. That's the difference. He's just as accurate as Kirk Cousins. He doesn't have the great arm strength that some guys have. He's got like Kirk Cousins' arm strength, Kirk Cousins' accuracy, but he's got like a moxie and an ability to like take on stuff that Kirk Cousins just doesn't have. Mac Jones is better than Kirk Cousins. Kind of scary. It actually reminds me of a certain guy by the name of Matt Hasselbeck.
Oh,
That's some high praise. Greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL, Matt Hasselbeck.
And they could market. They could come out with New England shells and cheese and call it Mac and Cheese Jones or something.
That's what
Anyway,
Cam Newton called him in the preseason.
Did
Did you hear Mac
No, I
Jones
didn't hear it.
trademarked MJ10?
I didn't hear it.
Because you know, Tom Brady's got the TB12. He wants to make the MJ10 brand.
Oh,
He already did it. He already trademarked it now
Nice.
as a rookie.
Not as
That's how smart this guy is.
well. We got Bane Gary on our team, and we're always rooting for the gut Quinn Miners, who's tearing it up with the Broncos. Now he gets to play. Hey, Blas says something I hope is true. He says Crosby will not miss one field goal the rest of the season. I hope that's true.
can only
Excluding
hope.
blocks.
The protection seems way better. I don't know. That seems a lot better. But
Is Lancaster still on the end?
they had maybe. I know Gore has been in there, and a bigger guy. It was Lancaster or one other bigger guy. I would have just went with Slayton on one end and Lancaster on the other and really make them run around you. But that's just me. Put your biggest, fattest dudes out there and make the guys want to go around the outside, go around the outside. That's what I'm saying. Anyway. All right, Rick. Thanks for hanging with us.
Rick.
The Raiders had a big Turkey Day win against the Cowboys, the incredible Cowboys team that it is. Wow, I'm sure that was really impressive.
It was a fun game to watch.
That's good.
was
It's always fun to
entertaining.
watch the Cowboys lose, but I don't know. The
Indeed.
AFC's a mess. Can the Raiders do something there quick before we go? What do you got?
I hope so. I mean, when we were talking about possible Super Bowl matchups with the Belichick Brady thing, something like who from the AFC would you consider to be a front runner? I mean, I don't think the Ravens are that good. Maybe the Patriots. The Bills
Patriots are the
have
best
looked
team
pretty
right now.
stinky at times.
Yeah. Chiefs are not looking that great. The whole
No.
AFC West has got like the same record or something like that, right? Like all those guys, except for the
Yeah.
Chiefs, maybe have like 1 or 2 wins more than them or something. But the
The
Chargers
Chiefs are, I
keep
think, are a
laying
game
eggs.
I think the Chiefs are a game ahead of the Raiders, and the Raiders are a game or half game ahead of the Chargers. So
Even the Broncos have got some wins though. Like the Broncos just
Yeah.
beat the Chargers like handily, like smacked the crap out of them. So it's like,
You know why? Because the Broncos run the ball, man.
yeah, well, that's because they got Quinn Miners. I'd run the
And
ball
be-
too if I had Quinn Miners.
And because they got Teddy Bridgewater
dishwater.
trying to throw it. So
Well, apparently he got hurt and what's his face came in and had like 3
Drew Lock,
turnover worthy plays in like his first 8 plays or something like that. I heard that on PF.
They
PFF
really wish
broadcast this
the
week.
Packers had moved Aaron Rodgers. They really do.
Oh my God, Broncos would be like probably like they have no losses if they had Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Their whole rest of their team is so good. They lost like 3 guards, and they still had Quinn Miners sitting there. Think about that. Now we've lost a lot of guys too, but we started Royce Newman from the start. Not that smart. Not that smart.
Doesn't matter. I don't care about all that. The Packers are still going to find a way to do it. They're in the Super Bowl. We hope they meet the Raiders in the Super Bowl, Rick. We hope your Raiders make it. What will
Heck
you
yeah.
do if that happens? We'll have you back on and watch. We'll watch the torturous nature of your.
Yeah.
What will you do?
I'm pretty sure he's a bigger Raiders fan than a Packer fan, aren't you, Rick?
You know, I think the Packers would have a better shot at getting back again in my lifetime. Not too sure the Raiders are going to do that. So,
Do you even remember the Raiders winning the Super Bowl? Like you were like what, 2 years old or something, or 4,
it's like 6.
6? Oh, okay. Yeah, do you
Yeah.
remember that?
Yeah. But then there was a long stretch until the Gruden Bowl. That one wasn't very much fun to watch.
Yeah.
What was the old Raider anthem song? I know you used to whistle it or hum it or something. That's how we're going out tonight.
All right. But no, I'm not going to get my hair cut like Mark Davis.
The autumn wind is a Raider. Is that what it is?
Something like that.
Holy Toledo!
Oh,
Isn't
Rick,
that what that guy would always say? Holy Toledo. Whenever they did something.
I don't remember.
That's because
I
you
am
weren't
looking
born yet.
I am looking forward to the John Madden special coming up on Christmas Day.
Oh, there's a lot of Brett Favre in that. A
Ah,
lot of
Probably.
Brett Favre, from what I hear.
Oh, I'll tell you. And I will say again, I think Troy Aikman is turning into the second coming of John Madden. Because if you listen to him, he's got the same mumbling, rambling.
He also said Robert Woods is a top 3 wide receiver.
oh my God! Can we just say about that? Why did they go? They went on and on and on.
Robert
about
Woods is so good. I mean, honestly,
Woods.
with him not out there, it changes their offense so
I'm like,
much. Oh my
Do
God.
you know how many guys the Packers are missing? Like, but oh my God, Robert Woods. They just went. I mean, it was like, oh my God. It just those guys are so ridiculous. I can't even stand it. You know what I found out? I looked up quarterback playoff all-time playoff wins today. And that's one of the other reasons why Troy Aikman really hates Aaron Rodgers, because the next win he has in the playoffs, he'll have more wins in the playoffs than Troy Aikman. So that's probably it.
Oh, no.
So Aikman will get notched down one more on the list. Sorry, Troy. But the Packers are winning a couple games this year, and Aaron Rodgers is going to win them. All right, Rick, you're awesome. I hope the Raiders do well. I'd like to see him in the Super Bowl, and we'll see you again soon. Ben, thanks for making the show and waking up. Everybody
Hey,
else, peace out.
Go
Hope you have fun.
Lions. Lions
Come
are
on,
playing
Lions.
the Vikings this weekend. Let's get
Yeah,
a
let's
win,
go.
Lions. Let's go.
They should
Beat
do
the
it.
Vikings. I hate the Vikings. By the way, I know you want to leave. I got one more thing to complain
That's
about.
fine. Go ahead.
Why in the hell? Why in the hell? When the Packers are at 3:00, primetime game on Fox, do they put the stupid ass Vikings away in San Francisco at 3:00? Because there's only one place in the world, or I guess 2 places, and not even all of the places. Minnesota and part of California were forced to watch the stupid Vikings and the 49ers, while everybody else got to watch the Pack. So guess what I got to do? I had to watch Tom Grassi's reaction to watching the game,
Oh my God.
which is why I didn't comment much on Sunday. Also, why I went to bed at right after they scored the touchdown in the second quarter, where they got up by a little bit, and then I went to bed. So I was like, because I was tired and I had to work that night, and I'd already worked so many other days in a row, and I was like, forget it, I'm out.
Dalvin Cook hurt. I forgot to do fantasy football check.
Oh,
I gotta
fantasy
get
football,
that
what
done.
happened?
Haven Pros fantasy football check. It's not looking good for me this week.
I probably started some. I even looked at this. I probably started some guys that are on
10th
bye.
place. You got to pick it up. You got to rally your team. Talk to them. Rick, it's rough, but you could win. You're still in the. You got to take that 0 this week, Rick. Come on. let's go.
Last week sucked. I think I scored like 40% of my
Show
expected
last
points
week's
last
apparently.
week.
Yeah, show last week. Apparently, I beat 0 last week. I don't even remember. I don't even know. I didn't even look
Josh
at my freaking
George
team.
is really
He's
doing
killing
well.
us.
Nico, freaking lucky. Look at Nico here. Jesus. 1273 to 1207 points.
He's just
against
luckier
was-
than crap.
God,
That's
7
all
game
there is
wins.
to it.
He's pulling out all the.
Look at that.
tight
I
ones.
have almost the exact same amount of points as him,
He's pulling out all the close wins.
and
He-
he's
he
got
wins
5
all the
more
close
wins.
games.
Look at my win total, or look at my point total for the year.
Yep.
1272.75. He's 1273.02. What a bunch of crap.
Rabbit's
0.2,
foot.
0.27 points more than me per year. Yet he's got 5 more wins.
Once again,
What a
Ben.
bunch of slop.
Mom won 4 games and then she lost one last week. Once again, Rick and Ben are kind of like
Rick.
the foundation. They're
suck,
kind of like
Rick.
the basement, but they're holding up the rest of the league. My teams in both leagues are exactly the same record, just as predicted. They got there differently, but they're both 5 and 7, probably out of it. Whatever. That's how it goes. Anyway, Nico, Rabbit's foot. There he
What
is,
happened last
second
week?
place.
I want to see what happened last week.
Last
Zero said I
week,
beat him.
last week. 0, you beat him last week? Let's take a look.
I don't know. That's what he said in the comments. I don't know.
All right, let's take a minute. I lost to friggin' Eckes. God, that was a big one to lose.
I
All
did
because I
beat him.
didn't start Hunter Renfro.
How did I beat him?
Ben,
Click on that one.
ooh,
How did I do
Zero
that?
had a rough one. Rick, you had a rough one too. You could have look at Josh George.
Oh my God,
I
Rick!
know.
You dropped the ball.
Darren Waller got hurt. Didn't do anything.
Rick, just
That's what hurt my
hurts.
other team. Oh, I know how I beat him.
Oh, I'm not signed in here.
All right, forget it then.
I am signed in. What happened? Bring it back. Oh, you can't find out my password. That's top secret. All right, never mind.
Forget it. We don't need to know.
All right. Ben beat Zero somehow miraculously. Rick laid a big turd and lost when he should have won. Dang it, Rick.
Just don't do it in the bed under the sheets, Rick.
That's right. Remember, if you sleep with someone else, make sure you fart under the covers. Just like we started the show, we'll remind you that before we leave the show. Rick, you've been awesome. As always. Ben, nice to see you again.
Rick, you look really
Packers.
tired,
We'll win the
I
Super
am
Bowl.
tired.
but you're not giving us the one eye yet. Okay, there we go. That's the Rick I know.
All right, you guys have a great weekend. No Packer game
Bye,
this
guys.
Sunday.
Good seeing you again.
Everybody relax.
See
Thanks,
you,
Rick.
Rick. See you, Jay.